Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. And this is the week in review. Again, wanting to keep it to be a shorter episode, we are going live a bit later, but still, I want to keep this, a nice economical episode. We did select match reactions for Bash in Berlin, mainly the World Heavyweight Championship matchup, Gunther versus Randy Orton, and the Terror Twins, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, for the unaware, versus Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. And I gotta say, I really enjoyed the tag match. Thought that was a lot of fun. Gunther Orton, while I thought it was slow in some parts, ultimately I thought it was a great matchup. Gunther's as real as it gets. I called him during live reactions the Ultimate Wrestler. I would recommend you guys check that out on the channel. So yeah, man, now that we've had a bit of time to digest Bash in Berlin, how did you feel about it? Or at least the matches we reacted to, of course.
The matches that we reacted to were good. The rest of it, I did watch before we went live, and I hated it.
Yes,
Well, I
wow.
shouldn't say I hated it. I should specify. I'm very happy that Bianca and Jade got those titles back. That feels like correcting course to me. That feels like we're back on track with those titles and with that team. That feels like we were spending the last few months in sort of an alternate universe where something went wrong, and now we're back in the correct universe. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
The other two matches were the ones that I hated.
Okay, now obviously one of them being which opened, Kevin Owens versus Cody Rhodes.
Hated that.
Yeah, and then the other one, oh, Drew and Punk.
Hated that one even more.
You know what's funny? And seeing early reviews like for that matchup, I haven't checked in since then. It seemed like a lot of people liked it better than their SummerSlam match. Would you say it was as bad as
Oh, dude,
that,
a lot
or
of people like their SummerSlam match too, though.
that is fair? That is fair. But I'm
I
asking
have
you
the
personally, like,
same
yeah,
problem with this one that I had with the SummerSlam one, which is that Drew looks like he should be able to manhandle someone Punk's size, and yet somehow or another, they literally had a physical, like almost like like a not like a literal display of strength, but like they had a moment in this match where they had all three corners touched, where Punk was like on Drew's shoulders, and Drew would touch one corner, and then as he turned around, Punk, while still on Drew's shoulders, would touch the same corner. And they did that three times. And then as Drew was walking towards the fourth corner to win the match, Punk got off his shoulders and there was a struggle. And you're thinking, like, okay, physical struggle here. Obviously, Drew has the advantage, but no, it was a total stalemate. And I'm like, this is complete nonsense. And I hate everything about it. Why do we have to pretend in this world of wrestling that the dude who looks like fucking Zeus, to the point that literally Javaris calls him Zeus, is equally as weak as the skinny fat guy that's failed at UFC? I don't understand it.
you're nothing if not consistent because longtime TwitWow viewers, if you go back in the archives, you've expressed this kind of problem between. Extreme physical dissimilarity before. That's why you always hated like Rey Mysterio versus Great Khali, just as an
Well,
example,
yeah, like,
right?
well, no, and you know what though? With Rey Mysterio and Khali, I could even get that because there's such a massive skill difference where Rey is like this really talented luchador and he can move around, and you could imagine a world where he can fly around and confuse and trip up Khali that way because Khali is this big lumbering guy that can't move. But like in a world where we've got Punk, who we know isn't an athletic guy, who literally, like, I think after his first UFC fight, I heard Joe Rogan say that he doesn't have an athletic bone in his body, and I think that that's a relatively fair analysis. Versus Drew McIntyre, who isn't just big, he's also an athletic freak and a really good wrestler, and we're just supposed to pretend like that doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Ray versus like a Mark Henry or an Undertaker would be a more apt comparison because
Yeah,
those guys,
yeah,
like, they're big, but they also like, I mean, Mark Henry, my God, like world's strongest man, literally had that athleticism,
yes,
stuff like that. And Ray being competitive with him, like I always kind of roll my eyes like, okay.
yeah,
And it is, but just to make the point, I just really wanted to make the point that this isn't like you being anti-punk. You've been very consistent on this point for years about pro wrestling.
right,
And that's why I wanted to do kind of a parallel also with that.
yeah.
Um, because again, you're nothing if not consistent. And I'm less perturbed by that. I mean, I definitely share it more than I do in those other instances because it's funny. Like with Ray and stuff, maybe because I was younger, I was able to suspend my disbelief. And I can also admit to having an anti punk bias. I just do not like the guy at
Right.
all. And I always want to come correct with all of you because anybody that chooses to listen to us, I'm grateful. So I am perturbed by that to a degree. I wouldn't say the same degree as you. For me, it's just gotten to the point where it's like, this feud feels a bit tired. Like it's amazing that like the seminal feud of my childhood that I really knew what like a blood feud was Triple H HBK. And like the stuff those guys did was fucking crazy. A bit hokey now in hindsight, but crazy. I mean, you had Triple H fucking crippling them out here. They would fight outside. That's why I actually thought what Strowman and Reed, Bronson Reed, did on Raw was pretty cool. Like, how often do you really see like a parking lot brawl? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they don't even have beef. That was more of like a territorial thing where
Yeah.
Bronson's just like, fuck you. And Braun's just like, no, fuck you. And then they settle it. Here it's like, I get that the bracelet is meant to be like symbolic. And again, we've seen that can really work. Now Neo Joe Shizzle, I think on YouTube, but I think he used to be Joe Sizzle when this video essay came out, talking about Lulu Pencil and the hat. The beautiful thing about pro wrestling is you can make anything meaningful if you write it well enough and this and that. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
they've done like a bad job, but I don't know. Like I feel like for the way they talk about the stakes, the actions aren't really lining up to me. Because at least, and again, I rose tinted glasses, childhood, all that. I should again acknowledge all that. But I just feel like Triple H and Michaels always brought that intensity. I always believed like, oh, these guys want to kill each other. I don't get that sense with Punk and Drew. That was a problem you had with their SummerSlam match, like because Drew more or less said, look, the match stops when your heart stops, and he's
And
going for
Drew just
multiple pin
kept going for
attempts.
pins. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's like an inconsistency where like the creative team is writing one thing and they're just not communicating that to whoever is like in control or has whoever is responsible for the way the matches actually go, like whoever is booking the matches or whoever is putting the matches together, whether it's the agents or the talents or whatever, or like if there is some kind of disconnect where they're like people just aren't paying attention or if they're like asleep at the wheel. But like it is unbelievable to me how poorly executed the actual matches of this feud have been, given how hot the feud has been outside of the ring.
exactly. And you hit on a point that I'm so glad you brought this up because and this is where my, bunch of sour grapes come in because what a huge Drew fan I am. You know how much I've loved like this run for him, even though I completely sympathize with you and others' point where it's like I wanted the babyface title win in front of a crowd. I think he still retained his charisma. I think somehow being a douche has made him sexier, where normally with most of the human population, it's the opposite effect. I fucking love this dude, and I still do. But like even his stuff, and I don't think it's any of his fault. But I think it's just because of the way the feud is going and the match is under delivering. It's starting to feel tired, and like
Yeah.
now I'm just wanting Drew to pick on somebody else. And so that's kind of where I am with it. Like you should have had me begging for a Hell in a Cell match between these two. But if I'm honest, going back to the tag match, Terror Twins versus Liv and Dom, I get more of a. I mean, really, I think the biggest hatred might just be Rhea and Dom, but that's a separate thing. But like, there's more believability to me at this point, given their history for a Hell in a Cell between Rhea and Liv. Because Rhea took Liv out, then Liv took Rhea out, and that really fucking crushed Rhea.
Yeah.
But Liv, like a Shakespearean fucking villain, was like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm not done with her yet.
Yeah.
Proceeds to upend her entire fucking life. Like, and I have to give those two women credit because, and I'm trying to be as objective as possible, but when I look at it, the animosity there feels more real. And I
Yeah.
think they've done a great job sustaining and maintaining, that animosity, writing wise. Whereas with Punk and Drew, it's like, okay, Punk beat Drew, he got his bracelet back. So in my mind, you need to introduce a new motivation now to do the tiebreaker, not just because, oh, we need a tiebreaker.
Well,
Because this isn't just a
I think
wrestling feud.
what they're probably going to just end up doing is just having Drew be pissed off, and like because Punk got the wristband back.
Yeah, exactly.
the bracelet.
Exactly.
He got it back, so that motivation is now out. So really, the only thing left is Drew is gonna bitch and complain more that Punk beat him, and he's gonna be like, "Oh, I hope you're proud that you got the win and you needed a strap to do it or whatever." Like he's basically gonna come up with excuses, and he's gonna bitch and moan, and Punk's gonna be like, "You know what? Fine, I don't have a problem kicking your ass again," because obviously that's how he talks, and he's like, he talks like he's this big tough guy, even though he's not. And if they're gonna do a third match, that's how they're gonna get there. It's literally they're gonna talk their way into it. Like that's maybe they'll have Drew assault Punk again, like he did in the summer, which it feels kind of pointless now because Punk can just rehab it off and then come back and fuck Drew over again. It's like I just hate the way that this feud has been handled because they've made so little effort to be fair to both characters. I feel like it just feels like the entire feud, if you look at it from like a more sort of unbiased objective point of view, it feels a lot like both guys are dicks and they both suck, and you can kind of pick sides, like who do you want to cheer for. And there are probably a lot of people who, if you just showed them everything that's happened in this feud so far, would be like, I don't like either of these guys, I don't want either one of them to win, I'm not interested. And I don't know if WWE really knows that or picks up on that or realizes that they've done that, but because of that, they're pushing it like CM Punk is like this hero, like this good guy, like he's the baby face. And because they're pushing him as the baby face, they want to make sure that he looks strong in the matches, and Drew doesn't look as strong, and that completely kills my interest in their matches.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Fightful had the W headline per Sean, when he shared it on Discord. Drew, who talks about CM Punk attacking him from behind, gets attacked from behind
Yeah,
by CM Punk.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like it
yeah.
feels so backwards because normally when you get the big guy getting sneak attacked by a smaller guy constantly, the alignments are the big guy is the baby face and the smaller guy doing the constant sneak attacks is the heel. And the situation is usually where the big guy just wants to be left alone and the smaller guy doing the sneak attacks has some motivation for wanting to fight the big guy. Usually it's for a title or whatever. Or in this case, it could have been, something more personal. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But like that's normally the case. That's usually the way you go. In this case, though, it's literally just like Punk was literally like heard you were talking shit and just refuses to let go of a grudge. That's a very very heelish trait. Refusing to let go of a grudge is a very heelish thing to do, and that's what their entire feud pretty much is revolving around. Is just Drew talked enough shit that now Punk has decided that he's going to ruin his life forever, and that's like the entire feud. It's
I,
nonsense to me.
I agree with you completely. I just need to say something real quick about this feud because I've really been thinking while you've been talking. I really think now. I'm not saying this would have won you back over or me back over. Again, this is just me thinking aloud. I really feel like this feud could have benefited more, lifting a lot more, maybe even from the jump, from Jericho Michaels. Because when I think about that feud, Drew is 100% the Jericho in this, and CM Punk is the Michaels. Because the whole thing was, oh, Shawn Michaels at one point, in a match, I guess, with like Batista, or maybe even it was with Jericho, like earlier, lied about being hurt. I've tried to be honest. I've tried to do things the right way. And he even had some matches before that where he looked like he was going to use a chair on people and he threw the chair away. And he's like, I try and be honest. And you shit on me anyway, but you love Shawn Michaels. And that's when they did the Geritron 5000, with Shawn's face going through it in the eye. He accidentally punches Rebecca, his wife, which I still feel like I don't know what you would have needed to pay her. I do feel like AJ being involved in this in some capacity would have elevated the stakes emotionally, and I'm disappointed they didn't do that. But yeah, you very easily could have done. We know Punk's a dick, but the crowd loves him anyway, and that should have fucked with Drew. Like I told you guys, he bullied me. He walked out on all of you. Walked out on all of you. Tried to take this company down. Tried to take all of us down, which means all of your favorites. Where were you going to watch them? For $20 a pop and some podunk, autograph signing, whatever. Could have railed against all that. And yet, that, and you cheer for him. And I have been killing myself trying to win a title in front of all of you because I wanted that to be our moment together that we strive for together. And you abandoned me. And so, yeah, like I look at this and the closest, like approximate I see again is that Jericho Michaels feud. But where that feud was so much better. You had Michaels be quote unquote taken out, even though with Punk it was a legitimate injury, so that was a misstep right there. Because obviously a kayfabe injury is always going to be better than a real one, and you could I think do a lot more with that. But then they actually got Rebecca involved with Jericho getting that punch, and then they do the unsanctioned matchup, and then that same night Jericho wins the world title. So you introduce a new stake now, and okay, now we can fight over this world title because I hate that you have it, and I haven't gotten done my pound of flesh. Like when I think about that feud, whatever I think about Jericho and Michaels now. You can't deny his performers. They fucking killed that feud. And I don't even think the matches were bad either. And obviously, that's always a fucking plus because this feud doesn't have that going for it. It's just really a shame. Like this should have been like a contemporary Jericho Michaels to me when I look at the temperaments involved and I look at the motivations involved. And it just fell so fucking short. Like I still think to this day, like I love 2012 Jericho that was like insecure about oddly enough CM Punk.
Yeah.
Like I love that, Jeritrol. But I still feel like that stuff with Michaels was some of the best stuff of his career. I mean, he's coming out and he's wearing the suits
Yep.
and he's doing like the high vocabulary, like he just completely. And then his tights, instead of saying "save us," it was "save me" because he found it being around everybody just so fucking awful. Just every like, yeah, and I only say this too. I should point out because I've been hearing people saying that like, oh, it's Brett and Undertaker or like Brett and Michaels with these two. You lifted the wrong fucking shit. You really should have gone back and watched that Jericho's Michaels feud and fucking learned something because I don't think this has any heat. Again, when I think about Hell in a Cell, which I think Triple H, to his credit, he wants to kind of make the match meaningful again and prestigious again. I think your best heater for that matchup to me is Rhea Liv, far and away. And this just feels more like a wrestling feud to me, which you're losing there too, because I think the best wrestling feud going on in the company right now is Andrade versus Carmelo. Those matches are winning a lot of people over. And I think those matches are getting both guys over. So what's really left for you then? At most, I would like to fantasy book like Foster talked about a house invasion angle, and those always pop me. And I know Foster said like he didn't want that. He's just saying that's an idea. I think that's a good idea, Alex. It's certainly more inspired than what we're seeing on TV lately. I wouldn't even mind again just to kind of lift from the Jericho Michaels feud if you had Punk bring AJ to the arena because he's got the bracelet back, he feels whole again, he's ready to put Drew in the rear view and focus on the world title. And then yeah, to your point, Ashton, you do another assault. But the thing is, like you bloody Punk, you brutalized him right in front of AJ. And then what I would love, because I know she could take the fucking spot, is AJ kind of, slaps Drew, and Drew kind of smirks, and out of nowhere, bam, Glasgow kiss right to AJ, laying her the fuck out. And that I'll tell you, where they misstepped was with Money in the Bank too. Because if she would have come out and tipped that ladder over and not even had him win the briefcase, he could have leaned over afterwards and been like, that was for Money in the Bank. And then, bam, you're fucking off because now it's not about the bracelet. It's not about whatever. And even though it's some kind of patriarchal, toxic, masculine bullshit, it is still pro wrestling. Punk can say it's about my fucking wife who hasn't been a competitor in how many goddamn years. She's a writer. She's a mental health advocate. And you put your fucking hands on like that's not gonna fly with me.
Yeah.
I'm ending you now. But you're not doing any of that. Like it just feels so uninspired. And I say it again, and this is the most boomer I sound like whenever I get on these diatribes. I feel bad for the kids of today because they're eating good in a lot of ways, but I will always feel spoiled by ruthless aggression because I saw either genuine blood feuds or just genuine I truly believe in my soul I'm better than you feuds. And this
Bro,
and this
I'm
doesn't
gonna be
succeed at
real
being
with you.
either.
I love that you brought up the idea of kids today because I feel like kids today have really not gotten to experience pro wrestling that genuinely feels real ever.
Yes. Yes, dude. Yes. Yes. Completely agree.
Because even
Enthusiastically
even
agree.
as kids, I really like it always growing up in like the 2000s, growing up in the 2010s, it's always going to feel more like a show, like Harlem Globetrotter shit, than like you're watching real, like reality television type real shit. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, 1,000 because again, either be a blood feud or be a I'm a better just wrestler than you. I deserve this shot more than you feud. For the latter case, Angle Benoit was always my hookup. I genuinely believe those guys were competing with each other and thinking I'm better than you. For blood feud, I've already mentioned Triple H Michaels, Jericho Michaels. Michaels apparently had a propensity for that. I mean, even Michaels Orton in '07 was pretty fucking solid. Like these guys just are not delivering on that level to me. I don't even really feel the animosity anymore. I feel like they're just checking boxes. And Hell in a Cell, it could be a good match. I don't know. I have no reason to believe if you were down on their strap match. I mean, again, I was hearing good things. I'll have to come to my own opinion if I choose to watch it back. I may not, to be honest. But it's just a shame because I was really hoping that this feud, like I accepted that this feud was probably going to catapult Punk to the world title, but I thought that the feud would be good enough that if it did do that, Drew and Punk could circle back up, maybe even at WrestleMania, and kind of, just fucking bring the whole thing full circle. Now I just kind of never want these guys to interact ever again. So, but again, actually, no. Before I punctuate this point, is there anything else you want to say about Drew Punk? Because I don't want to step on your toes. Is there anything else you want to say about this feud?
I don't think so. No, it's just disappointing. Honestly, I think I have to put at least some of the blame on Drew because I can't imagine that we're at the point, or that that we haven't gotten to the point that he doesn't have any say over his own matches. He's been doing this
True,
long
yeah.
enough that he's got to have some say. It's like I can't imagine that there was no word said by him about all these promos talking about how the match wins when, or the match stops when your heart stops and shit, and then you just go into the match and it's like another match. It's like just a match. That's it. You just wrestle the match.
Again, to go back to Jericho Michaels, they did a fucking unsanctioned match the same night that Jericho won the fucking world title, and Michaels beat his fucking ass. Now, I would have done something similar and I would have had it
You
end
know
by ref
what? I'm
stoppage.
glad that you said that the way you did because it made me realize the one thing that this entire feud has really been missing from both men:
Which is,
desperation. Neither one of them feel desperate at all.
yeah, I agree actually. I because
Drew
even it's yeah,
Drew should feel desperate to end Punk's career because of what Punk has cost him and has promised to continue costing him as long as he's around. And Punk this whole time should have felt desperate to get back that fucking bracelet because that's how you get the thing over.
yes,
And yet,
yes.
how many times have we had these two guys confronting each other face to face? No punches thrown, no physical contact, not even Punk making an attempt to snag the fucking bracelet off Drew's wrist. Never. And
Yeah.
that's what it is. That's what it comes down to. There has been zero feeling of desperation in this feud at all when that's what it should revolve around. This entire feud should revolve around Drew's desperation to win the world title again, and Punk being the one and only thing that stands between him and that goal, and Punk's desperation to get that bracelet back. That's then there hasn't been any of it at all.
Yeah, I'd give maybe a B minus on the Drew Desperate part because it does seem like every time he's close to that world title, Punk does thwart it. But the bracelet thing, like if you're gonna introduce that mechanism, that should be like at the forefront in every interaction those two have with each other. Otherwise, what's the point? So I do completely agree with you on that. About the other match you didn't like in Owens Cody, did you have anything you wanted to say about that, or did we just gloss over that? I just wanted to kind of give the floor to you since you.
I said I hate it. Maybe that's a little too extreme. I just hate Cody as champ. Honestly, is really what it comes down to.
I know, brother. I feel you
He
on that.
he did the thing where he went up like he was gonna do the top rope os cutter, but then oh ow oh no my knee. You were right, Kevin. My knee does hurt. This is bad. I am hurt, and he just fucking won anyway. And he even won in a lame way where like he hit the two consecutive crossroads like he was going to do the spin cycle, like he was going to do the three in a row, but then
Yeah.
the third one got cut off. He didn't get the third one. Kevin hit a second stunner. Cody kicked out, and it led to Cody hitting another crossroads by itself, like an isolated crossroads that was just the third one in the match overall. But it was still after a few minutes. It was still a few minutes removed from the two that he hit before, and he just won off of it. And that was it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was just a lame finish that I feel like it made Kevin look weak, made Kevin's stunner look weak. I think the main thing that they were trying to put over was like Kevin would have won if he wouldn't have hesitated. But I also hate that because that's teaching all the wrong lessons. That's basically teaching Kevin, like, hey man, should have been more of a heel, then you could have won the title. And like, that's a horrible lesson. We shouldn't be doing that. And yeah, because Kevin hesitated to go after the leg several times. He even considered doing an apron power bomb once and then chose not to. Didn't ever end up doing it at all in the match. He literally just refused. And maybe he would have won if he did, but it doesn't fucking matter anymore because he lost. So yeah, and then again, there was a hug after the match where Kevin shoved the cameraman away because the cameraman got too close to the hug, I guess, and that's it. There was no betrayal. They just cut away, and that was all.
Just to kind of react to that a bit. Okay, so with wrestling characters, fine, introducing that morally gray, like, oh, maybe you should have targeted it. I prefer Kevin as a babyface, so I just don't like it on that level. Everything else, like, But I feel like, again, I think about another matchup. Now, this is kind of me, pulling really stuff out of my ass. I can't even believe that I'm thinking about these matches. But I think about Juice Robinson versus Kenny Omega for the United States Championship after Juice had already beaten Kenny in that year's G1. That big upset that the whole crowd popped for. And I know I lost my mind for it because I fucking love Juice. I miss when he was super over as a babyface. I feel like the sky was the limit for him. But
Dude,
anyway,
no, we're on the same page there. I was literally, we were just talking earlier, not earlier, but earlier this week, and this is week in review, so we can talk about this. There was a segment on Dynamite on Wednesday, or actually, am I thinking about the right thing? Something involving Daniel Garcia. I think it was on Dynamite. MJF was cutting a promo, and Daniel Garcia showed up and attacked him. And Garcia is trying to do this fiery underdog babyface thing. And I'm just like, God, you are just so not him. You are just not the right guy for this role. I feel like Garcia is just such a blank slate. He's just such a nobody. He's such a nothing character. He just doesn't know who he is. I feel like he needs a few years of like paying dues on the indies still before he is really ready for anything on TV. Even though he's been on TV for a few years now. But then I was like, okay, who would be better at doing this than Daniel Garcia? And I came up with a few names, but the one that I got the most excited about was, man, if only Juice Robinson could get this kind of push. Juice getting this kind of push as an underdog babyface against MJF would be incredible.
yeah, dude. Because here's the thing about his match with Kenny to circle that back. Um, they did kind of a similar thing where Kenny at one point like hurt his knee, but Juice at first didn't target it, but then he's thinking, man, my first singles title, beating Kenny, I want a legacy. And then he starts working it over, like just as a traditional wrestler. He wasn't as vicious as say Adam
Zach.
Cole was on MJF's neck, yeah, or Zach in his matches. It was just your standard wrestling working. But the fascinating thing was the crowd started booing Juice because they felt betrayed. They're like, this isn't you. You're that underdog. You fight from your heart. You don't fight with your head. You're not this cerebral malicious guy. You're I will stand till the last, kind of guy. And Juice loses the match. So here's the thing. Even if you had Kevin go after the knee, I still feel like you could have told a fascinating story where it's like, well, it still didn't pay off for you. And so you realize that redemption was the way forward, but you regress. Now, can you stabilize yourself and continue the path forward? Because when Juice ultimately did win the US title, it was against Jay White, and he won it as Juice, doing Juice things, rolling a motherfucker up. And that's the beauty of pro wrestling. A beauty that I think WWE is finding again. I don't want to be wholly dour, and whatever. I still think the writing on so many levels is fucking great. But there are still a few things here and there where I think they missed the magic. And for me, I will say, just as a Kevin Owens fan, I was pissed off when I heard that Cody kicked out at two stunners. Like, one stunner I can get. You're the fucking champion. Two stunners, that's a bit for me because Kevin Stunner, like that, has been the big move for him for a while. Not to mention, too, can we just acknowledge the elephant in the room too? They're like, oh, if he went after the knee, he could have won. No, he couldn't have. It's fucking Cody Rhodes. Does anybody believe that if Kevin really was as heelish as fucking possible, that he would have beaten Cody Rhodes with where he is right now? Be fucking serious. Like, it's just, and Kevin Owens as a character has even said the same thing. I'm not a credible contender. My win loss record has been terrible. Well, like, I appreciate the honesty of the character, but yeah, like I love Kevin to death, but yeah, like there was no shot. That's why I didn't even get excited about this match. I'm like, my God, as a Kevin Owens fan, can you give me something attainable at the very fucking least? Christ. I mean, if he does turn heel, I'll tell you, I hope he whoops LA Knight's fucking ass and takes that United States title. I'd love to fucking see that. Um, I'd say sorry, Super Blue, but I care about you too much to lie. So yeah, that's pretty much that. That's what's going on in KOville. Do we want to shift gears to NXT, or is there anything else from Bash in Berlin that you wanted to talk about?
Let's shift.
All right, let us shift indeed. Let's talk about the women for a second. I would like to start with literally the opener. Fatal Influence. I want to know what you feel about the name in a second. Versus Metaphor with Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. So, yeah, handing over to you. What do you think about the name Fatal Influence? And are you starting to vibe with this faction, or are you still kind of meh on it as a whole?
Fatal Influence, I don't hate it. It's not like whatever the pure fusion collective garbage. I hate that. I don't hate Fatal Influence. It doesn't really do anything for me though. I'm honestly surprised that they didn't do some kind of a spin off of Toxic Attraction. Like Toxic Influence or Fatal. Well, they couldn't do Fatal Attraction. That's the name of the movie. But like, something along those lines. I feel like that would have been more on brand for JC because she literally her moment in the sun was when she was in Toxic Attraction. She hasn't done jack shit since, and she every time she cuts a promo, I feel like she brings up the time that she ran the division, and it's like, yeah, we all know that that was because of fucking Mandy being super fucking over, and you just kind of riding coattails there, babe. Just relax. Um, but no, yeah, I don't have a problem with the name. It's fine. I don't like the team. I don't like Fallon Henley all that much. I don't think JC Jane is all that amazing. I think that Jasmine Nix has the biggest ceiling out of the three, but she's still pretty green right now, and really all she really has right now is a nice Pele kick.
I will say I am happy for Jasmine that she has this. Cause like if she actually does develop accordingly and really shows her potential and shows out, this could be a nice springboard for her, I think. Um I've actually cooled down on Fallon now that she's fully committed as a heel. I think I actually might have preferred her as a babyface, which is weird for me. That's something I wouldn't have expected. And JC's actually grown on me. I just, you know what though, I do wish we got more of Gigi though. Like it really boggles my fucking mind that JC came out of that feud doing so much better than Gigi fucking Dolan. Too many people are fucking going
Gigi's
to
injured right now.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. I'll give them space on that. But I
Yeah,
was gonna say
Gigi
like,
probably isn't going to be back until either the end of the year or beginning of 2025.
ooh, man.
Yeah.
Well, hope she gets well soon for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think I can vibe with the group. I love Metaphor though. I mean, let's talk about those guys because I Jakara Jackson I think is slowly getting better, but Lash fucking legend. Let's come correct, okay? Mama, future fucking star. I mean, damn. Damn, I really like her, dude. I,
Yep.
I I love her personality.
Yep.
I love her in the ring. I'm telling you, I really we are a political podcast. We have been honest about that. I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. But to keep it within wrestling, I worry that WWE and the internalized like misogyny and white supremacy and together the misogyny noir, which I think is just misogyny against black women. I worry that that's going to make them cut off their nose to spite their face because they've done good with certain acts. Like I still feel like Bianca and Jade, doing fine with them. So like maybe I'm over worrying, but I always worry. Do you know what you have in these people? Because I really do feel like Lash is a star, but WWE, I know Triple H is trying to correct course, but you and I have been watching for decades and we've seen everything. And with seeing everything comes a lot of animus and mistrust, right? Which you don't unlearn, I think, even in 3 years. Like, I think it's going to take us both a while to be like, it's going to go well, to really earn that confidence back. And I just look at Lash and I'm like, don't fuck her over. Because I'm telling you, this woman is a champion, y'all. She is so good. So, so good. And I loved her stuff here. I thought it was a pretty fun matchup. Ultimately, Fatal Influence does get the win, thanks to Jasmine providing the distraction. And that's why I like her too, because she may feel like she's the rookie just getting the scraps and taking a lot of the abuse. She could actually be similar. I know they're not going to do this 1-to-1, of course, but she could maybe even be similar to like what Hangman Page was in the decade back in ROH, where it's like, listen, you're the towel girl, you're the hype girl, you're the one that makes sure that like things go our way. Fallon and I were the vets. We're the ones that like, we deserve everything. And then Jasmine gets a bit tired of it and she stands up for herself. That's how I could see this going. Am
Maybe.
I wrong? Probably. I mean, it is me
I
after all.
just said maybe.
Well, I know you said maybe, but I'm answering my own question. I could be wrong. My track record isn't great, much like Kevin Owens, as a matter of fact. So we will have to
Ouch.
see. I mean, when I'm right, I'm right.
Yeah.
I know you probably weren't happy about this. Well, we did get some like backstage stuff with Eddie Thorpe and Ashanti kind of doing his thing. Brooks attacked Idris, so once again, Hick attacking a black guy. That's
Oh my god.
yeah, I know. I know.
Yeah. Maybe maybe we don't talk about this because this is excessive. This is ridiculous. Like Sean HBK, Hickenbottom, Hick attacking black guy, Hickenbottom. We have a theme here,
Yeah, I just wanted to mention it in passing because I mean optics, and
dude.
NXT is still
I
doing
just
it.
I don't understand. Like, who is who is a white guy in NXT who is a lovable baby face that Brooks Jensen could be attacking instead?
I wish Nathan Frazier was lovable, but I know he's not. Like not to me at least.
You know what
Uh,
though? He is to a majority of the crowd, and he is a great option. That is one great option.
Duke Hudson would be another one because I think people
Duke
still like
Hudson
Duke.
would work. I think Joe Hendry would work.
Yeah, yeah,
Why
one
is it?
hundred
Why
percent.
does it have to always be the black dudes that are getting attacked by him, by Gallus? By Ethan Page? Like, come on, what the fuck is this nonsense?
Oh, I think we know what it is. It's just really, really fucking bad.
Jonathan,
Yeah, Jonathan. Um, I know you probably weren't a fan of this. Your girl Izzy Dame losing to Carmen Petrovic. Um, in a
dude.
yeah.
I don't even I don't even need to go into it. If you want to hear why I'm upset about this, everyone, go listen to a previous episode of NXT of Week in Review where I talk about how much I like Izzy Dame and how much I feel like it's ridiculous that they're just kind of letting her eat all these L's.
Yeah, I think even literally last week we kind of
Yeah,
went into this. No more than 2
yeah.
weeks ago, but I think it was literally last week. Um, so yeah, Carmen wins. Clearly she's higher up in the pecking order. I don't even
I like
just to be
Carmen
clear.
too. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm glad you said that because I was gonna say, just to be clear, I don't dislike Carmen, but
yeah.
I get completely what you mean about Izzy. She's got a great look, a lot of upside, and
No, I like Carmen. She's cool, but like in a like if we think of like a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is like jobber for life and 10 is like main eventer for life, main eventing WrestleMania, like Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Asuka level. Carmen is like a 5.
yeah.
She's like right in the middle there. Like she could do well for herself. She could be really solid mid Carter. But Izzy, I mean, maybe right now she's not, but Izzy has the potential to literally be a 10 one day.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say she's hovering like that 6, 7 territory right now for me. And just in terms of like packaging and everything else,
Yeah.
there's
She's I
upside
think she
there.
I think she can talk even. That's the crazy thing. It's
Yeah.
not just like the look and the athleticism. She can talk too.
Yes. Yeah.
God damn.
All right. We have no quarter catch crew training backstage. I'm still loving this. I'm still loving Ren as part of the group. I think this is exactly what she fucking needed.
Yes.
She wanted to warm up, and Charlie was pretty much like, relax. Yeah. And told Miles and Ren to follow his lead. Ren said, well, if it wasn't for me, Charles, I loved how formal and how almost motherly she got with that tone. You wouldn't even be the champion. And Charlie was just like, this bitch. So then Tony D'Angelo and the family were backstage, and then two guys were like, boss, we got to talk. And Tony's like, not right now. What? Boss, we really got to talk. Hey, I said not right now. And then get a commercial, and then we get far and away segment of the fucking night. This is the kind of segment you put on a go home show. The Jada Parker interview, and I can't
Yes.
not let a man talk about it who cackles for his intro. Well, I mean, really, it was a nice controlled laugh, but you get what I mean. How'd you feel about this, man?
It was, dude. Jada, I think just within the confines of this calendar year, just the 8 months now that we've experienced of 2024, Jada has shot up from barely on my radar. Like, I see her and I'm like, "Ooh, I see you. You're attractive. I find you attractive, and you can kind of go in the ring, but I'm not, super aware of what you can do. I'm just kind of like, eye candy at this point. Till like now, like, oh my god, this woman can do everything. She's incredible. She can talk. She can work. She can, like shoot her to the fucking moon, please. She's amazing. She's like top 5 in NXT, probably top 15 in all of WWE. Like, goddamn, please, she's fantastic.
Dude, if you weren't sold on Jada Parker before, which I think I was before this point, I did go back and watch the street fight at your urging, and you already know I sent you audio recordings about it, in a personal conversation. But just really glowing about it to you, saying I loved it. This really put me over the moon. Where I'm like, okay, I thought the Women's North American Championship was a good spot for you. No, this woman can be a world champion. In fact,
Yes.
I'm gonna get ahead of it. Okay, you don't have to agree. Nobody has to agree with me. I'm saying this for me, right? I want to make that clear. I feel like, in a way, I worry, has Jada gotten screwed by the universe? Because with Stephanie Vaquer coming in and Julia, I do wonder if Jada's ever going to get her turn. And that to me is a damn shame to even think about
I mean, dude,
because,
here's the thing. I love Julia, and I think Stephanie has a promising future as well. But being realistic, Jada is so far ahead of both of them at something that WWE values a lot, and that's promos.
yes, that is true. That is, I mean, dude, this promo may have very well had, and I have been slacking on my year-end awards, admittedly, but I gotta remember, I mean, she had line of the fucking year to me for this. Because she said, like, she was talking about her whole history, which I love that she did this because here's the thing, too. And again, I'm just being honest from my perspective. When you see her walking out without the mud and repping those guys, who I do like, by the way, I do like OTM as a tag team. I just want to make that clear, too. I can see a lot of people getting a certain perception of Jada the character and like, oh, I wonder what her backstory is. And I guarantee you some of it's probably racially insensitive if we're just being radically honest, right? I love that she was able to sit down and actually tell her fucking story and talk about her athletic background and talk about where she came from. This was so important for her because now she's more than just a person that'll stand on business and ride with OTM and this and that. Now she's a fully fleshed out person to me because her talking about this and her scholarships and how dominant she was athletically. And then again, she had line of the year for me where, I'm not a soccer player turned pro wrestler. I'm a pro wrestler who used to play soccer.
Yep.
Fuck. That is how you put respect on the business. Oh my God. All these
Dude,
people
do you
whining.
realize how tall she is, by the way? Because when you just look at her, like, in a vacuum, like, without context, you're thinking, like, at least for me personally, I would expect her to be one of the more petite girls, like 5'1", 5'2", but she's not.
How tall is she? Like 5'5"?
5'7".
Damn.
She's taller than Bailey, bro. She's like taller than Shayna Baszler.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, dude, that's nuts, man. That's nuts. And, so Jada does a great job telling her story and telling it,
She went to LSU.
yes.
I didn't
Yes.
know that. This is my first time learning that.
And that's why I said this promo was so valuable because there are people like us that are
And she's
invested
only
in her,
25.
and only 25. There are people like us that are invested in her, but still didn't know her whole story. And then again, there are going to be people that maybe are even still in that kayfabe that are going to conjecture a lot just from again her running with OTM, the way she beefs with people, this and that. And again, like I said, some of that rhetoric may not be, so whatever. Here she's a full person. Here it's like, okay, I have a story, I have a background, I have a history. And I love that she shared that with us. And I love the way she shared it with us. Because here's the thing, too. With black wrestlers, they like to get lumped together all the time. I could see
Mhm.
some people looking at this and being like, oh, she's another Bianca. But her and Bianca feel so different to me. And
Very
that is the
different.
highest compliment I can give.
Yes.
Like, she does not feel like another Bianca Belair. She feels like the first Jada Parker.
Oh, and you know what
That's what you
though?
want
I'm
to fucking
also
be.
gonna just throw. I'm gonna throw a few things out there because we do need to acknowledge that she and Bianca are very different. But if we are
Yes.
gonna compare, Jada is younger now than Bianca was when she first started in WWE.
Yes,
She is better on the mic now than maybe even Bianca now. Maybe
maybe. She
I
very well might be. Yeah.
because I don't think don't get me wrong. I think Bianca's a solid promo, but I don't think Bianca's ever been like an amazing promo by any means.
I I can never recollect in the history of TWitWoW since Bianca has gotten here, us raving over one of her promos the way we
Right.
rave about Jade on the mic pretty
Yeah.
regularly, actually, and
Yeah.
especially this.
Yeah.
Especially this. So continue.
And also just I feel like they are completely different from each other as far as actual wrestlers go. Like Bianca is freaky as far as like her strength, her athleticism, that kind of stuff. Jada doesn't really fuck with that kind of stuff. She doesn't really do like the freaky feats of strength or athleticism or anything like that. She's just kind of wrestles, you know? Like that's one thing where like you have to give the advantage to Bianca because Bianca's ceiling in the ring is fucking sky high. Like she can do literally anything. And Jada, as far as strictly in ring, is much more down to earth, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's bad. It just means that she can't do insane things like Bianca.
Oh, there's like maybe this is a weird comparison and I should stop myself, but I'm really having fun with you with this open conversations we've been having today. There's like almost a stone cold vibe to her a little bit. I feel like this woman could really blow up.
Because of the
Cause I
mic work, dude. Yeah.
yeah, because of the mic work, and like again, she stands on fucking business, bro.
Yeah.
Like when you see how she feuded with Michin and how she was able to back it up in that street fight, like those are the kinds of matches that when Jada Parker comes out and she's choosing you to beef with, you don't worry about Jada. You worry about the other person because you know Jada's about that life. And I love that. And so, speaking of people she's beefing with, let's bring Roxanne into the equation. I have got to say, I have got to say, I really liked her here. I did. I loved how she sat down looking so smug with that fucking championship. And she kind of talks about like, oh, this is huge for you. Underdog, first shot at the championship, worked so hard to get here.
Yeah.
And I think it either said something like, you don't know my story, you don't know me. And Roxanne's like, oh, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Lola Vice. Before her Thea Hale, this and that, and just everybody
Yet
seems to have
another
the same
AJ Lee
story.
promo. I feel like AJ Lee cut that promo literally on Raw one time.
And you know what? That might be fair, but you know what? If you're gonna rip somebody, at least do it well. I feel like Roxanne did it well here.
Yeah.
I'm
Oh
not, I'm
yeah,
not
for sure.
gonna.
No, it
There's
was it was
nothing
a
new.
good
Yeah,
promo. I'm not hating. I'm just saying like
yeah,
it just comes back to what the one thing that we always complain about with Roxanne is that she just rips AJ Lee, and it's just I feel like this is probably the most blatant example of it ever because not only is she ripping her style, but I feel like this is her literally directly taking an actual promo that AJ Lee once cut on the women's division of Raw when she was women's champion at one point.
yeah. I don't remember AJ cutting a promo like this. But then again, there's only so much I can remember, so I could very easily be forgetting. But I enjoyed this for what it was. I love the way you described that, Foster. Bianca's an athlete, Jada's a fighter, 100%. And that's why
Yes.
I say that Jada's got that stone cold
It's
energy to her.
dude, it's The Rock versus Stone Cold right there. Boom, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, it's
Um,
not exactly that, but like as far as the in ring stuff goes, because The Rock was always doing the more athletic stuff than Stone Cold too.
yes, yes. And Roxanne, she's just like, look, and I love that Roxanne, whatever else you could say about her promo, she at least understands promo 101. I got to put the other person over. Otherwise, who the hell did I beat? I beat a fucking nobody.
Yep.
She says to Jada, you're going to be a future champion. It's just not going to happen as long as I'm around. Yes, that's literally all
Well,
I
you know
ask.
what though? I also love that by saying that, it also kind of makes the neurons fire of like, I wonder how long Roxanne is going to be around. Because remember, she was like politicking around draft season to get drafted. She wants to go to the main roster. She doesn't want to be here anymore. She doesn't want to be NXT Women's Champion anymore. She wants to be on the main roster. So this is another like her like planting that seed of like, as long as I'm around here, but like she doesn't want to be there anymore.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
love that. That's so good.
well, it's a clash with her own ego, right? Because on one hand, she thinks she's too good for this place, but on the other hand, she feels like she's also too good to be beat, and she's got the top prize, so she's just not going to give that up willingly, right? So it's like a conflict of ego, and so I kind of love that about the Roxanne character too. I wish they
Yes.
would flesh that out more, actually,
Yeah.
where she would kind of keep saying, "I'm too good for NXT," and just keep trying to angle like, "Oh, listen, I could work both shows. Just please get me out of here. Ava is the worst." And just playing that up. I don't think they play that up enough. Now that you've got my neurons firing, but yeah. And then like for moment of the fucking year, Parker fucking said, when Roxanne was talking all of her shit, "I'll slap the taste out of your mouth." And then Roxanne said, "I'd like to see you try it without missing a beat." Jada gets out of her chair and does it in one of the
Dude,
best slaps I've seen in wrestling in
the
years.
sound was so perfect.
Have you gone back and watched this? Because I unfortunately have
No,
not.
I haven't either.
Bro, before we get together on Sunday for some last minute hype, we need to watch it again to get in the zone
Yeah,
because god damn, bro.
yeah.
And dude, again, credit to Roxanne, better than 90% of the AEW roster taking fucking flipping pile drivers. She sells a slap better than most of them sell flipping pile drivers. Just something to think about, people, because she stayed on the ground the whole time. She didn't get up like the segment ends with her still on the ground holding her cheek. And then, of course, we have to acknowledge the big elephant in the room. After the slap, and Jada kind of looking down at her, she looks over. She sees somebody. She's like, what are you doing here? Yeah, I heard about you. You can get some too. I love it. I love it. I love that Jada isn't intimidated or awed by anybody because she's Jada Parker. And again, she's about that. She stands on business. Meanwhile, Perez, who again, selling the fucking slap, just has this shocked look of, oh God, you, not you. I already have enough to worry about. Moments like this make me want to believe so badly that NXT has the best women's division going. And honestly, if we're just talking WWE, as far as the writing and presentation, they might be right, but I still have to give big ups to Liv and Rhea. They are cooking right now.
Yeah.
This was great. This is one of the best NXT women's segments I have seen in a while.
And now that they are the women's tag team champions, Jade and Bianca can appear on Raw as well now.
That is true. That is
So
true.
that Raw women's division just went from pretty damn good to probably better than great even.
Yes, yes. I think I'd put it Raw at first. NXT, I think, just solidified itself just with this alone as kind of a second four now. SmackDown doesn't really feel very inspired to me. Although I will say, to be fair, I did watch Michin versus Jax in that street fight. Michin keeps putting in the work, man. I hope she at least gets a thank you title run at some fucking point.
Dude, I
Jesus
know.
Christ.
She's
Uh,
so good. She came down to NXT, put in some awesome work, put some people over who deserved it, and now she's back on SmackDown doing the same damn thing, except maybe let's set the people who deserve it side, because I don't know how much Nia really deserves it. Bro, did you see the Annihilator that she hit on Michin on Friday?
Bro, I thought Michin
Oh my
died.
god.
Jesus
It
Christ,
it
dude.
somebody like I don't know who because I don't know who she actually will take their advice. But whoever Naya actually takes advice from needs to get in her ear and be like, "Listen, baby girl, please hold on to the ropes as you land. You are gonna kill someone with that thing."
Yeah. That was rough, and I
Fuck.
gotta tell you, as much as I don't like her as a person, Tiffany is getting some laughs out of me about almost cashing in and stopping just short because of Nia. In fact, they had a Twitter interaction recently where somebody pointed out that Tiffany took a picture with Naomi, and Nia saw it and she replied, "This better be fake." And then Tiffany replied, "My queen, you know how crazy AI is these days,"
Yes.
which was the closest I've ever heard somebody sound to being Stokely Hathaway, because that just sounds so much like something he would say. Like, man, that they're using AI against me out here, which, by the way, I saw the tweets from Stokely that you shared in the Discord. That man is still a king, and I will not hear anything otherwise. If you have anything otherwise to say, you're wrong. Congratulations. Go in the corner. Um,
Congratulations. You played yourself.
it might be a bald fine, Ricochet as fuck then, without missing a beat. Let him know. It's hair transplant or nothing, you fuck. God damn. Um,
Oh my
clearly I'm well
god.
adjusted. Yeah. Um, so then we get
Did you see
no
what
quarter catch.
time, by the way, like how quickly he responded to that?
How quickly was it?
Let me pull it up real quick. I wanna see myself. So he responded within an hour.
Wow. That he was like, oh man, I got a little bit more hater in me. No quarter catch crew versus the family. I thought this was a pretty fun matchup, and then they do get the Don, the two guys that were kind of heckling him about like, hey, we need to talk. They do get him, and he leaves. but the family still win. I do wonder, not to take us too far afield, but I do wonder about the future of this faction. Um, because I'll tell you, after Stand and Deliver. I wanted to say Brooklyn, but Stand and Deliver. It really made me like think, oh, does this family have much time left? Because Stax wanted D'Angelo, Tony, to use the Nux, and Tony was like, no, no. I thought Stax was trying to take over the family from that point, but we're pretty far removed from Stand and Deliver, and everything still seems cool. So
Yeah.
I do wonder what the future for these guys are.
That might have
But
just been what the device that they used to turn the family face.
yes. Yeah. I mean, there you go. There you go. But yeah, I mean, now you've got this whole thing with Tony and Oba, which is to kind of tie those threads together. They do have a scene, him and Oba in Tony's restaurant. And dude, like, I mean, I don't have to speak for you. Foster already told on you with your burner account. I think it was Foster anyway. It might have been DBK. Or it was like, oh, found Ashton's burner account. It was pretty much Oba pulling the Ultimo Dragon, just with all the fucking titles. And you were just like, fuck, how did you know?
Bro,
I
I
don't.
thought that I was doing a good job of keeping it hidden, man. I didn't. I mean, look, my name's not even in the account or anything. Like, fuck, man. I just thought that no one would ever find out. But I guess I just need to do a better job of hiding my similar takes.
Oh, no, no. Not when they're absolutely correct, like that one certainly was. So I don't need to tell you
Bro,
about how g about
do me a
what were
favor
you saying?
though. Do me a favor though. Look at that
Yeah.
picture of Oba holding up all those titles and compare it to the picture of Jungle Boy holding up the two
Oh god. I just understood what you were saying 'cause you were laughing so hard because of how comical that fucking is. Um So no, I don't have to tell you, bro. And like in all seriousness, how good the segment was. I know you've been really you and I both have been like stands of Oba because you even know back on his debut, I was one of the ones that was like, oh, I really like this guy, and that's before he like we even knew like really who he was.
titles. Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, so you and I have both been about it. I could say in a rare instance because normally it's you or it's me. It's wonderful when it's us together. So you already know he fucking killed it on this. His drip was insane. He- what I love about him as a
Wait,
character,
I'm sorry. I'm confused. Who are we talking about?
we're talking about Oba in the
Tony?
Tony D restaurant
Oh,
segment.
right, right.
Yeah, yeah. Because I just want to say too, now that you're caught up and you know what I'm talking about. What I love about the Oba character, this dude never fucking loses control, bro. Like even when he might be intimidated by somebody, he's smart enough not to show it. Again, as a character, because it's like I am always in control. I'm the man of Nigerian destiny. I'm the king. I'm the whatever. And I love it. I love that he just strolls into Tony's establishment, and because contrast that with like the Dragunov feud where Tony's bringing him every which way. Oba's just got that look like this is the only stop I'm making today, and then whatever you say to me, you better make it count. And it better matter because I'm not here for this. I'm not here for your stupid games. And they talk, and it's like man, I know that there have been fans clamoring for Brock back. I have way like cooled on that with everything that came out, with Brock and the Janelle Grant situation and everything. We've already got Gunther. Now we're gonna have but we have a whole new class of monsters. I don't really like Braun Strowman as a person, but he did business with Bronson Reed, made Bronson Reed look fucking great. We've got enough monsters to do the job. Oba, man, is going to take that throne with fucking ease. I mean, this dude, the drip on this dude, the confidence, the mic ability, God, like he's everything. Again, I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. I'm Sean O'Hare in this instance, I guess. But yeah, he's terrific, man. Like and I like Tony too. I mean, Tony appeals to childhood me. I live for that mob shit. If anything, they're not doing it enough still to my liking. I want some Scarface shit, some Goodfellas shit. But I like Tony. I do. I thought the Heritage Cup stuff, I almost wish it would have lasted a bit longer because I liked him with that. But Oba's in a class of his own, and he's young as hell, and like that's horrifying. Like for everyone else, just to be clear, because it's like good luck catching up to that dude. So yeah, they exchanged words, but I'm just thinking it's another defense for Oba. Here's something though that we need to kind of talk about. Just I will hope quickly because it's already painful enough as it is. I want you to go first on this. Wes and Zachary Wentz, their fucking promo exchange.
Oh God. Oh, I
Dude, I
forgot that we got to
know.
talk about this week. Holy shit.
Dude, I know.
Yeah, I honestly can't think of a promo that I had higher expectations for that was worse than this one. I think this was a horrible promo conversation. And that's what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be a conversation, and really, it's hard to even call it a conversation because that would imply that they were like talking to each other, but they were really just kind of talking at each other. And it was like, you know how in volleyball, a good volley is when like both teams are hitting the ball really hard at each other, and the team that gets the ball hit hard in their direction receives it and actually gets it up and manages to set up another attempt at a spike, and they go back and forth, and eventually one of the teams wins. Yeah, this was nothing like that at all. This was where a team hits a spike, no one on the other team gets anywhere close to it, it hits the ground and it's out of bounds. And so that, or I guess in this case it would have to land in bounds, but because then it's, the idea is these guys would literally say a line, there would be like a 3 second pause, and then the other guy would say a line, and then there would be a 3 second pause, and then the other guy would say a line. It was back and forth, and it was slow as hell. And it was like they were trying to remember their lines in between, and each line progressively, it was like they were having a Twitter conversation, but in real life. You know how on Twitter where like I'll say
Yeah.
something like if you and I wanted to talk shit to each other, it would be like I would say some shit to you, and then eventually you would see that I talked some shit to you, and you would take a few seconds to think of what you want to say, and then you would respond, and then it would take me a little while to see it, and then I would have to take a few seconds to think of what I wanted to say, or maybe even a few minutes in this case, and then I would have to type it up and then respond. It was like that, but if it had to happen in real time, because these dudes were not quick with their responses at all. And even despite taking the extra time to think of the responses were not even clever at all. And the worst part I think to me was how the shit that they were talking was all shit that we've heard before. Like Wes is like, I'm a WWE superstar and you're just an NXT or you're just a TNA wrestler. And then after however long it took for Wentz to think up his response, he was like, well, this TNA wrestler's gonna beat you. And it was like, bro, what is happening right now? This was painful. This was a horrible segment. This made me not even want to watch the match to the point that I don't think we were even going to be reacting to the match on tomorrow.
No, no, we're not. That was one that we were skipping.
This
Uh,
promo killed my interest in this match.
I just gotta say, since you already covered all the ground, I just want to say two things, and then
Before
we can
you
move
say
on.
what you want to say, though, I just have to ask, do you feel like I'm being too harsh on this promo in any way?
No, because I was getting ready to double down.
Oh,
No. That's the thing. That's why I co-sign everything you said. I just wanted to say two things. One about another problem I had, and where my disappointment really lies. And then two, how I personally would have fixed it. Just because again, we've been kind of doing that a lot this episode, and I'm having fun with it. Wes really disappointed me here more than Wentz, which
yes.
isn't to say that I thought Wentz
Well,
was
it's an
better.
expectation thing. You can't
Exactly.
disappoint me if I don't have expectations, and we both thought more of Wes on the mic.
Exactly. Because I just didn't like how repetitive Wes was with the different levels line. He said that 3 times, bro. It was almost like you said, when it looked like actively they were trying to remember what to say, I almost wonder if Wes, like, couldn't remember at some point or got stuck, and he just recoursed back to that line, and I'm like, "Wes, bro, like, you're a main event dude, or at least I wanna believe that you are." I don't wanna, like, over extract and overgeneralize from one promo because everybody can have one bad night, but, like, I see a main event guy in you, dude. You gotta be better on the mic. You gotta be solid, even better than solid. You gotta be great. Like, I know we've kinda debated at times about Trick's, like, mic work and stuff. I do think Trick has gems in there, which I think keeps him, like, afloat. But I want him to soar too. I'm always keeping an eye on Trek too. Wes, man, you are a phenomenal fucking wrestler, my dude. You have got everything to offer. That promo's got to be tightened up though, because I did not like the repetitiveness at all.
Yeah,
Really,
like
my favorite.
this. We love Wes Lee, and thankfully this isn't like a situation like a presidential race. Because if it was, bro, Wes, this would have been your Howard Dean. Yee!
Yeah, I will say, I think my favorite part of the promo was Zachary Wentz talking about how he took care of Wes after his surgery. So yeah, we might not have been tagging, but I was always in your life. I thought that was nice because like it just goes to show that there are two sides to every story. And Wes was kind of giving one version, and then here Zachary comes in. And he's like, no, no. Say all of it.
Yeah.
Say everything that happened. Other than that, though, I really did not care for this,
Yeah.
and really, I would have, I don't know what you're saying. What about Super Blue? So you're gonna have to clarify. Um, but I would have done one of those NXT like deep dives, like those locked in things, where it's like, they talk about the history and stuff, and it's a pre-tape. That this would have been so much better as a pre-tape. You sit Wes and Zach down, you get their thoughts coherently
Yeah.
together, and then it's just on the delivery because I think Wes could have killed that. And you show footage of them winning tag gold. Now that you have the TNA partnership, no reason why you can't show TNA footage.
Yeah.
And you just show their career, the laughs they've had, the matches they've won and lost. This was perfect for a locked in, like kind of mini bio type thing, mini doc kind of thing. Yeah, that would have been so much better than a live thing for sure. Like wasted here. So yeah, that's how I would have fixed it. Cause yeah, these guys clearly were not ready to confront each other live. I didn't really feel much animus. Again,
It's
similar
wild that a
point of
couple of
view.
guys who have been with each other and that have been like friends for as long as these guys have had this little chemistry on the mic.
Dude, I know, dude. That's crazy to me. Um, all right. Now we got a little bit of a Trick and Joe Hendry interaction backstage. That was pretty cool. But then the next big thing was Kalani Jordan coming out and Kalani, being all brave and being like, Wendy, just send one of your demons out here. Like, I don't care. And then she cuts herself off or like stops short because she sees something on the Titantron. It's Wendy sending out who she's chosen. And it turns out to be fucking Rosemary. So, how'd you feel about this, bro? I want to get your thoughts first.
I have a confession.
Yes,
I slept through this and haven't gone back to watch it yet.
I too have a confession. I watched this, but the confession is I don't think you missed much. Because, yeah, like, here's the thing Rosemary as a character, I think the most I ever was into her was when she was doing probably one of the most popular things she did, at least in her TNA career, which was the Allie the Bunny storyline. So, I like those two together. I like the chemistry. I kind of hope they hook back up at one point, even if it is just in TNA, especially because I don't think Allie is in AEW anymore. But I don't know what she wants to do or what her next moves are. But yeah, Rosemary here, I was like, that's okay. This is okay. It wasn't like a horrible match or anything, but I didn't really like feel much. Kalani gets the win because nobody does it like Lonnie. And then Wendy Chu, like, the lights go out. Then her face kind of pops up all over the arena. It was pretty unnerving. I gotta give production credit on that. I
Nice. I
think
got
it
to
made
check it out then.
yeah, that the post match definitely because I think they
Oh,
did a good
wow.
job
It's
of
going
making.
on a year since Allie's last match.
Wow, I wonder if she just needed a break.
She was the bunny in AEW, and her last match on Cage Match was September 6th of 2023.
Yeah,
Speaking
yeah,
of September, happy September, everyone! Or at
I
least
know.
everyone on the East Coast of the US or earlier in time zones.
Guess what? That's the coast I'm on, which means it's the only coast. Well, it's not that it's the only coast that matters. I
my
should
mom
stop myself.
my mom just freaked out. She was like, "Oh my god, it's September."
Oh, this year, I know we say it seemingly every year, but this year especially really feels like what the fuck, dude. I can't believe we're 9 months into 2024 already
You know
officially
what?
today.
A hot take. I am not disoriented by time this year.
I still am. So congratulations, bud, on finding your footing again.
Hooray me!
Yes. But yeah, man, Wendy Chu looked good here. I forget the last thing I said before we kind of broke off there.
You were talking about how good production was with like the
Yeah,
faces and
production was,
stuff.
and then she chokes her out with the Cobra Clutch and poses with the title, and she looks fucking good with that title. Too bad
Mm-hmm.
she's not winning it. Um,
Mm-mm.
so yeah. Um, Metaphor was backstage. Lexus King comes in. Why the
Alex in
fuck?
chat. Alex in chat said, "Ugh, Kalani's catchphrase makes me sad."
And when you make Foster sad, I mean, what else is there to say, really? That like, if Foster told me that something I did made him sad, I would give up that thing immediately. Even if it was something I was trying for the first time. If Foster was witness and he was like, John, don't ever try anything again ever. It made me sad. I'd be like, okay. And then I would just live my rest of my life in the corner. So Yeah, that's
Making
how
Foster
bad Kalani
sad
fucked
is
up.
not something that anybody should be trying to do, but if it was a competition, nobody would do it like Lonnie.
Wow, the self pop. Jesus Christ, but earned though. But earned though. So who the fuck keeps like writing Lexus King into things? Because I want to have a talk with
HBK, the
them.
guy that's in control of the whole episode.
Well, then he fucking sucks, and
Yeah,
I hate
we have
everything about
established
him.
this. I'm
Yeah.
pumped, Alex. Yes.
Oh my god. But yeah, so Lexus King apparently is gonna do stuff with Oro. I'm sorry, Oro. I actually was enjoying you until they pulled you back down to the mid card like this. Um, and so yeah, Chase you and Ridge said he would never be in another group again, but he was happy that Chase you accepted him. Ridge said these titles mean the world to him. He's not gonna let them go. And Thea said that's going to be the reign of all reigns. Then Fraser and Axiom came up and they talk some shit, but nobody cares because they're fucking dweebs. Not going to talk about Malik versus Jensen because honestly, I think I skipped this. Like I tabbed out of this. Also, not going to talk about Javon Evans versus Joe Coffey because I also skipped the hell out of this. And apparently, Joe Coffey won. Jesus fucking Christ.
Who did he beat?
Javon Evans.
Ew.
Isn't that great? Isn't that
Why?
so fucking great? Yeah, I know.
No.
Yeah, I know. Fuck. Joe Hendry concert. I like Joe Hendry. I enjoyed this to a point. I mean, at least it got the crowd into it. I guess that's the most important thing. Then Ethan comes out. Oh my god. I think I found something worse than chicken shit heel. Again, I should specify for me. This like insecure, insincere heel. Like Ethan says he's all ego, but that just belies deep insecurity. But here's the thing about that show, not tell, right? Like Triple H was a very similar champion as a heel. You could tell he felt threatened by everybody he came up against, right? But he never really, spazzed out on the mic like, "Oh, you don't intimidate me." The closest he ever did that was with like a guy like Batista, because of course, like I could flex a pinky and take your fucking head off. But Hendry is like spazzing out, or excuse me, Ethan Page is spazzing out over Joe fucking Hendry. And like again, I like Hendry. That's not meant to be a diss, but like, keep your shit together. Jesus Christ. Uh, so they're kind of interacting, and then Ava comes out, and she's like, "Oh, you should be happy that Joe sang a song about you. Way to be impartial, Ava. That's great." And then she said, I worked all that stuff out, and you're gonna have a special guest referee for your match, and it's Trick Williams. Then after a little bit, Ethan tries to take a shot at Joe Hendry. Hendry gets the standing ovation, poses with the NXT title, and does the wave your hands side to side and say, "I believe in Joe Hendry." And Trick is kind of dancing to it. And then we cut to Pete Dunne's face, and he's like, "Oh, Trick, you got to wait tonight, but I don't think you're going to make it to Tuesday." And like, he kind of just like walks off, and it's like, man, fuck you, Peter.
God, he's so annoying.
Dude, he's on everything. And he advanced in the Intercontinental title fatal four way. Like, fuck.
He did?
Well, yeah. Remember, he pinned. It was like he won. Yeah, that match with
Oh, it was
him.
a triple
Adrian.
threat though. He won the triple threat
Exactly.
to get into the four-way, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
I remember.
Yeah, they're pushing him now, and I'm like, God damn it. I don't want to be shitty and like blame Tyler Bate because obviously nobody wants to get fucking injured, but I wish he didn't get fucking injured because Bate would, Dunn would still be doing the tag team with him at least.
Yeah.
Um, So, and plus, I prefer Bate anyway over Dunn. So
Yeah.
I low key wish he was getting this fucking push because if nothing else, the matches would be better. Um, so yeah, that was essentially NXT. And yeah, as Super Bowl pointed out, Jensen also won his match. So we're really just fully tapping into all the black talent we have here on NXT, and that's swell. Um, so yeah, that was NXT. What did you want to talk about from AEW? Because I know you and I both watched some stuff. We already kind of talked about Daniel Garcia and MJF, so I don't think that needs to be touched on more.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. Let me pull up an AEW because I didn't watch Rampage or Collision. I will say that I only watched bits of Dynamite. I didn't watch Hangman versus Ishii. I actually just not even intentionally. It was just that I didn't tune in until after that match had already been pretty much wrapped up. Jamie Hayter versus Harley Cameron happened.
Okay.
Let me look and see how long that match was. Because I know the answer is too long because it got a commercial break, as Super Blue predicted. Dude, do you remember my exact prediction about that match?
No.
I said, and you can literally go back into the archives and you can see me say this. Jamie Hayter is going to be facing Harley Cameron on Dynamite. She should beat her in under 90 seconds. How much do you want to bet it goes over 3 minutes?
Okay. And I'm guessing it went well over 3 minutes.
3:06.
Huh. Interesting. That's crazy.
And it was because of Soraya. Soraya was a distraction.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you were right. You were right. It's just amazing that it was 3:06 and not like more over than that. I would have at least thought like 5 to 7 minutes, but no. Tony's just like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
Um. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, did you see this shit about Moxley? Have you caught up on the Moxley stuff?
I did watch that, and he wants to feud with fucking Darby Allen, but he also said this isn't your company anymore, and I'm like, what's
But he said
happening?
that to Tony Schiavone. What?
And people in the comments are saying, well, we know that Shivani's earpiece, like that's a direct line to Tony Khan, so it's like Moxley was talking to Tony Khan, and I'm like,
Oh, see. Oh, I fucking hate Tony Khan so goddamn much. Fuck you. Because who the fuck who's watching the show knows that? Like, what
right, exactly.
percentage? What percentage of AEW's not quite 700,000 people audience actually knows that John Moxley wasn't really talking to Shivani there. He was talking to Tony Khan. What percentage of that 700,000 people do you think actually knows that, honestly?
Not many, not
Maybe
many
5%?
at best. Yeah.
And that's me being generous, I feel like. Yeah. So Tony Khan just booked a segment that less than 5% of his audience was going to get, basically to pop himself.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh
Which
my
you really
God.
could have remedied it if you had commentary say, Shivani is linked up with Tony Khan, so like, what is Moxley trying to say to Tony Khan? But I don't remember them ever saying that in that segment.
No, they didn't. Jesus fucking
And bro, I
Christ.
think a lot of people in the comments, at least in the YouTube video that I watched, were too distracted about John Moxley looking like 1997 Stone Cold Steve Austin with his uh
The
with
bald
his
head.
look in that segment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I also did
Uh,
watch a little bit of Ricochet versus Kyle Fletcher, and that got over like a wet fart in church. So that was
oh, you
pretty.
watched that? Wow, I'm
I I
surprised.
I did. Yeah, Ricochet is he's very bold. He's very bold.
Just ask
Um,
Stokely.
Exactly. Who, by the way, wears it so much fucking sexier. God damn, what a king. Mainly because he can talk. And despite his height, he doesn't have a voice that sounds like he predominantly shops at Baby Gap. So, yeah, I don't think that Ricochet is going to get that main event push in fucking AEW either. Better luck next time, ass face. What else? What else? I don't think I watched anything else from AEW though. I think I just watched the Ricochet stuff, the MJF, Daniel Garcia stuff, and then yeah, because
Did
I
you
didn't
see the
check in.
segment that Moxley had later on in the night with Marina Shafir?
No, I did not. That I did not see.
It was literally just them beating up a bunch of like backstage people, like stagehands. I didn't really fully quite understand the point of it.
Oh, cool. That compelling, riveting. Um, Anything else from AEW that you wanted to talk about?
I mean, do we want to talk about Jack Perry being the guy that's going to be challenging Danielson at All Out?
I mean, I'll ask your question. I'll answer your question with a question. Do we need to say anything else when we've both laughed about it? I think that pretty much encapsulates it, don't you?
I just kind of
Like,
want to laugh at it a little more, honestly.
you know what? Since you came by and honestly, you can laugh at it a little more, bud.
Oh wait, no, you know what? Actually, there is one other thing I want to talk about. Two other
Okay.
things, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Mariah May.
Yeah, I did not watch this because I know you told me like how brief it was, how she kind of said this town isn't worthy of a celebration and then
Yeah.
left.
Okay. Well, you pretty much just covered it. We'll move on. Grizzled young veterans.
Did not watch this unfortunately, but I know they are in AEW. How'd they look here?
I love them so much.
They're so good, dude.
Dude, you and I, we've been watching pro wrestling for over 20 years each.
Yes.
And you would be amazed at how many people have been watching for 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 years who think that because they've seen someone do something in one company that they just know that they can just jump to a conclusion about that person or those people. And people who think like, oh yeah, grizzled young vets, man, these guys suck because of schism.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And I'm not speaking out of my ass. I'm speaking because I actually literally heard this narrative from people in a Discord server that I'm in. People who think like, "Oh yeah, no, these guys are nothing to be excited about." And I was like, "What are you talking about? These guys are incredible. These guys are like FTR if they actually looked like stars and could cut promos." And of course, because these guys are AEW fans, they're going to immediately come to FTR's defense, but just the general idea being that like their only exposure to the GYV was fucking schism.
Yeah.
It's like twist the knife while you're at it. It's
Dude.
already it's already hilt deep into my soul.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, to even be fair to those people, there was even a time where I like kind of waned on GYV because of schism, but I at least remembered how good they could be and how great they were. Um,
And they're back to
yeah.
doing the grit your teeth line.
Yes.
I'm just excited, man. I want to see what I really would love is I think what it really comes down to is that I'm just excited for AEW's roster to get healthy again. I want Adam
Yes.
Cole back. I want Juice Robinson back. I think more than anyone at this point. Like, God, I want them to get back healthy. And Keith Lee, I want Keith Lee back and healthy again. Fuck.
Yeah, it's just missing so much star
Jamie
power to me.
Jamie just got back and like I wanted her to hit the ground running, and Tony was just like, no, 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 that's not happening. We're gonna give her, we're gonna have a return on the pre-show, and then her first match back is gonna be against Harley fucking Cameron. That's definitely not hitting the ground running as far as I'm concerned.
No.
So it's just frustrating, and it's like I think honestly, is there any more quintessential Tony Khan booking decision than having John Moxley say this isn't your company anymore to Tony Schiavone, just assuming that his audience is going to know what's happening.
Yeah. Uh,
All right, let's move on. I'm getting upset. I'm getting hot, brother. I'm getting
did
hot. Let's get out of here.
you do any extracurriculars this week?
No.
Okay, you didn't have to say it like that. It was an
You know
honest.
what? You're right. I'm sorry that was out of line. I'm not actually offended that you asked me that question. It's just a question we have to go through every week. But no, I did not.
I I I think I did because I know I was posting some meme stuff like Orton's like shuffle RKO on Mark Henry and stuff, but I didn't like
That was
fucking
from
like it.
2011. I'll never forget it. It was incredible.
Yeah, it was not as
He did
incredible as
a
your face
toe
though.
touch.
He did. I can't do a toe touch. I would die. Um, so yeah, that was that. You guys know the next segment, opening up the forum for questions. So please send us your questions if you have any about this week in the world of wrestling. Oh, also, I did watch one thing. I watched the conclusion of Josh Alexander and Nemetz's Iron Man match at I don't know if it was
Oh.
Hard to Kill or whatever the
Oh
fuck it
yeah,
was.
Nemeth uses a fucking Kenny Omega or like a J Driller type move as his finish now.
Wow, what a mark.
I thought you just
Um,
said you watched the finish.
well, I kind of skipped around admittedly, but like I saw that like he did retain because I'm like, why am I watching Josh Alexander? And then JBL came out. He's been
Yeah.
doing weird stuff on the indies. I don't know what the fuck this whole angle is, but way to go, TNA. Way to go. It's like I guess JBL never really left WWE's orbit because they do have that partnership with NXT now. Who even fucking knows?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah. Let's get to questions because that's far more interesting. Foster, thoughts on Ali declaring himself to face Hiromu and Best of Super Juniors next year? I would hope that New Japan really gets its shit together by then because they're slowly starting to do things that I like, but I'm not getting too excited. So we'll
I
have to see what
mean,
New Japan is in a year. But
we're only like a month and a half away, right? From or is it even that from Zach challenging Naito for the world title, right?
yeah, dude, it's
That's
oh
gonna
boy,
be telling.
yes, it is. But look, Foster, I love Ali to death. I think He's great. He's fucking amazing, and he's a pretty solid talker from what I've seen. I've seen people rave about his, TNA work. I actually feel like I'm cheating myself by not watching it. And apparently, him and Hiramu, this is the second match that they had,
I
and
didn't
people have
they
loved
just
both of their matches.
wrestle at Capital Collision yesterday?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Yeah, I watched
Um,
the main event of that Mercedes Momo. It was pretty damn good.
nice, nice. I
Momo
think
took Momo took the moneymaker better than I think anyone ever has.
nice. Well, I think Mercedes needed a match like that because she did not get good reviews for her match with Britt Baker at All In.
You know what though? I
Um,
think people understand that it wasn't on her. It was Britt's fault. Like literally, dude, Mark Henry. Did you see Mark Henry's quote about that
I
match?
did see Mark Henry's quote about that. Yeah. I do agree that I think the majority saw it as Britt's fault, but there were definitely others that looked at it as like a both sides kind of thing.
Of course.
So I still feel like
I
Mercedes,
mean,
probably needed to
it
fix.
was both of their faults to varying degrees. It was just Britt's fault for the most part. Like,
Yeah.
90-10.
So what do you think about Ali and Best Super Juniors next year? Does that get you hyped?
I'm if he's actually going to be in the BOSJ tournament, that's very exciting. But if he's just going to face Hiramu on one of the days or like on the day of the finals or something like that, that's less exciting, but still exciting to a degree because they're both awesome.
Cash sales, who do you think will be Gunther's next challenger? If I didn't feel like he had unfinished business with Braun, I would say Ilya, just because I know that they're getting rave review at live events. Sheamus?
Yeah.
I mean, I will never say no to those two wrestling each other. Like literally, even their King of the Ring matchup recently was really good. So they haven't lost the juice. Um, so let me give a real answer though. You said Sheamus. I really like that answer. I don't believe Ilya because again, I think he's going to address Braun Breaker first, given how their last match ended. Honestly, given that they won the tag match, I think Priest is going to want his rematch, either him or
That'd be
CM
cool.
Punk. But I think they're both going to get
I
thwarted,
don't
but
think
maybe for
Punk
some
is
reason.
gonna get away with challenging without Drew having something to say about it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Drew, because
Uh,
can you imagine Drew beat Punk at SummerSlam and couldn't immediately get a world title match, and now Punk gets a dub over Drew, and now they're just tied. Punk doesn't have an advantage over Drew; they're just tied, and Punk does get a title match. That would be the ultimate bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't disagree. Caster sales. I actually like this question when I read it all the way through because I was a bit confused at first. Do you think Cody and or Knight will drop their belts to heels, or one or both of them will turn heel before then? I think
Ah,
they're both so over right now. I can only really see them dropping it to heels. But if anybody's going to turn heel before then, it's LA Knight. Cody's too
yes.
into the
Cody
moment.
refuses. Cody probably has a clause in his contract that he's not allowed to be a heel. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Exactly. I'm only allowed to look like Homelander, not actually be Homelander, okay? Fuck. So, yeah, I'm
That's
gonna say
such
drop
a
it to heels.
Homelander move, though.
Dude, right? But everybody knows it but
Except him.
him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Next questions. Oh, actually, no. Super Blue asked. No, I'm just gonna say no immediately. He said, "Do you think Josh Alexander helps Ethan Page today?" No. What? I think Pete Dunne helps Ethan Page today.
No, you know
Fuck.
what? I'm gonna leave it open. I think there's a very real chance because Josh Alexander on NXT has been a rumor for like a month at this point. There was a rumor that he was going to be one of Oba's challengers when Oba was doing like an open challenge or something like that, and it didn't happen. So I'm feeling like Josh to NXT is kind of waiting in the wings right now. It wouldn't surprise me if his first appearance was to help Ethan retain,
Yeah. All right. All right.
especially because it's already an all TNA main event. It wouldn't surprise me if they brought someone else from TNA in to help Ethan.
Yeah. All right.
It would be funny as fuck if they had like other TNA shit happen. Like fucking what's his name? Frankie Kazarian shows up or something and then Alexander. You know what I mean? Like other like just have a TNA storyline unfold in the main event of an NXT PLE.
Yes.
It would be funny as hell. Because we won't be watching and we don't have to care.
God, I love our lives right now. I love being old and just over it all.
Oh,
Fuck.
I don't, but it's the you know what? There's a certain pleasure in it for sure.
Yeah, it's liberating is the word I would use.
Yeah. I
Um,
love your word choice. It's hot.
I love your face choice. Um,
Whoa, it wasn't a choice. It was just given to me, babe.
Well, then the universe did right by you, as it should, because you deserve the best things. But anyway, enough loving on you and back to the questions. Super Blue, I'm not even trying to be disrespectful to you today. I don't really understand what you're getting at. Do you think All In was better than it was booked? Well, I mean, isn't a show really what it's booked? It's kind of one to one with the booking, isn't it? Um,
I don't
uh,
know. What does that even mean? I need an explanation, Super Blue. How do you mean was it better than it was booked?
yeah, I don't know how that's possible. Are you trying
That's
to
not
square a circle right now?
that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works.
It's making me irrationally angry. Like, what are you saying to
Cool
me
down.
right
Let's get that Caster Sales' question. Do you have any interest in Swerve and Hangman?
now? At this point, no, honestly, because
Oh
they blew
wow.
it. It should have been it all in. Like, I just don't care now, because Swerve doesn't have the
Uh,
title. So, like, what's the revenge about really then, Frankman? What are you gonna take, his career? Everybody tries to do that, and it never fucking happens. Swerve literally just promised he's gonna be world champion again. You think whatever Hangman does, he's gonna stop from doing that? I mean, it would be cool if somebody made a private decision like, "Hey, I wanna go another way in my life, but I really wanna put this guy over," and then he does something so obscene, it's like, "Oh, man, his career might actually be over," and then you remove his profile from the website, and you do all the usual shit. None of that shit's gonna fucking happen. So, like, what are you gonna take from Swerve that he has to lose? It isn't just his health and well-being because he lost the championship,
dude,
which is why they should have been an all-in.
and especially because there were literally just reports that Swerve is signed now through like what was it like 2028, and then there was like a whole separate report that Swerve and Daniel Garcia signed extensions that were so big that WWE thought it was bad for the business.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ. Oh, no, they're definitely not going to do anything about his career. They're not going to have anything about his career being on the line. And if they do, it's the most foolish shit imaginable. But then again, that makes me feel like maybe they will go there because it's Tony Khan and he loves doing foolish shit.
God, so true on all counts. Foster.
Oh, wait, no, I never answered. I actually am
Oh, I'm sorry.
interested in Swerve Hangman. They're doing a cage
Oh, okay.
match, and I'm looking forward to it. I hope it's fun.
You know what? I'm happy for you, man. You know, I'm glad that I mean, genuinely, I'm glad that you could still hold on to some hype because I've just gotten
Hangman's going
so
to win.
cynical about
Hangman's
everything.
100% winning.
Oh, I think he has to. I think he has to just to like give him fucking something. But yeah, I've just gotten so cynical about everything AEW. I'm like, man, fuck you.
Yeah, that's
Like
the
God,
correct stance.
I could be friends with somebody, and I tolerate a lot. If anything, I probably am too tolerant in some cases. But somebody could
Yeah.
turn AEW on the television, and I'm like, this isn't working out. I'm out of here.
Damn.
Yeah, fuck you. Uh,
Christian
but
nationalist, tolerable. AEW fan, fuck you.
dude, I know. I mean, you didn't have to tell on me like that hard, but like not wrong. Fuck. Foster, do you think we need another Dusty tournament sooner rather than later with all the tag teams popping up?
Yes.
Definitely. Definitely. And if their angle didn't fucking tank and it wasn't like going anywhere, I really would love Idris and Malik to win it. I really
I
like
want
those
a
guys.
women's
But yeah.
Dusty Classic, damn it.
Didn't we get one like 2 years ago? I feel like we've gotten one before, right? Or no? That did happen once.
I think it did, but
Once.
we need another one.
Yeah, no, I agree. That I agree. Yeah, so like yes on everything, Foster, for sure. Yes.
It was
Um
2022, by the way. 2022, there were, and 2021, actually. 2022 and 2021, we had both.
yes. Uh, Caster Sales. Do you think Mox will be the one to beat Danielson and retire him? Anything's possible with AEW, mainly because they have no sense of what's good. But I would hope that they would like get a fucking stud in there. Hell, they could even do it with a stud like Wardlow and whatnot if they really wanted to build him up. And say, hey, go out there and kill this dude. Win the world title, get massive heat because he's so beloved, and we'll take you to the fucking stratosphere. But yeah, knowing AEW, it could be Mox, could be fucking Darby Allen, could be, whatever. It could be Stokely. I mean, Foster, that would make me pop. Stokely absolutely should do it. Fuck yeah. What do you think, Ashton? I want to give you a chance to answer this before I move on.
Ah,
Damn.
ah, I could see them doing that, but yeah, I could buy it, I guess. I don't know. Does Moxley really need more?
No. I love how you're just like You're really in that phase of like, God, we have to do stuff today. Do we have to though? We do.
No, no,
Fuck.
it's not even that though. It's more of just like, can we find someone new to give accomplishments to, please? Fuck.
Especially somebody that can actually carry this company for 10 years or
Like,
something, like an
give it to
actual
fucking
pillar.
Takeshita for all I care. I don't even like
Dude,
Takeshita all that
yes.
much. I'm not that big of a fan of the dude, but like at least he is an AEW original guy who people see as like ace material, who looks like a fucking stud, who can wrestle his ass off. That Danielson obviously has a lot of respect for. Give it to someone like that, man. Fuck. Why does it always have to be the same four dudes?
I mean, bro, and you know I'm a much bigger Takeshita fan than you are. Like, you know I've raved about this dude before when I actually could speak positively about AEW, which,
Yeah.
he's like the 2% that I can. Uh, so yeah, like, I'm about that. Like, fuck
Dude, as
yeah.
soon as I mentioned his name, you popped huge.
Yeah, dude, because he's so fucking legit. Like, yes, yes, I love that. Um, all right, next question. Okay, so Super Blue cleaned it up. He said, "Do you think All In was good based on the results?" Yeah,
See,
but
it's funny because I feel like you're out here like, God, I just don't want to think about this company.
I really don't. Like, AEW can honestly just fuck all the way off. I don't care. Like, you could just be like, "But John, AEW died. Good. I hope it died. I don't give a
Oh
fuck."
no,
Fuck.
you don't mean
Yeah,
that.
I might actually. I don't know anymore. Don't tell me
Uh,
what I believe and don't
a
believe.
lot of a lot of people are making a lot more money than they would be if AEW didn't exist because
The
AEW
The
exists.
only reason I'm happy that they're alive right now is because Okada can now genuinely flaunt ostentatious wealth, and fucking Swerve, a black wrestler, is making that fucking bag. That is the only reason I'm permitting you to live right now. Otherwise, you can honestly get fucked.
Let me go over
But
the results. Let me go over the results. Okay,
sure,
so pre-show, you're gonna love this, bro. You ready?
I know you're fucking lying to me, but just get on with it.
It's a 16-man tag match.
Please,
uh,
please, just spare me every fucking name in the match and just tell me who won. I'm not. We're not doing
Tommy.
that.
Wait. I mean, I don't have the name of who got the winning pinfall or anything.
That's totally fine. I promise you I won't. It's yeah.
The winning team was Tommy Billington, Kip Sabian, Rocky Romero, Kyle Fletcher, Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and Top Flight.
Jesus fucking Christ. Next.
Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii beat Stat and Stokely.
Willow and honestly Stat and Stokely, what the hell are you doing in the ring? Listen to me right now, you two. You're
Wait,
too
did you
good
not
for
see the promo before this match where Stokely barked?
I think I did, actually. To be
He was
honest,
like, I'm the real Pitbull.
can we put Stokely in our pocket? I
Please.
just
He's so funny.
I just like honestly, bro, and this isn't even a diss on Stokely because I know he doesn't listen to this, but if he did, he'd find my Twitter account and he'd block my ass. I didn't even think anything of it because I know Stokely's always beefing with everybody. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I just I love you, Stoke, but you know it's true. Come on, you know it's true. But
Oh
yeah,
my God, he's
Willow
so
and Stat are
funny.
too good for AEW. But you know what? At the same time, though, to Willow's credit, she seems to really be over there, and AEW might not actually be completely misusing her. And Stat, to give AEW credit there too, she could have been a lot worse too. So maybe this is actually a rare case of like, we get it right sometimes. Here's two examples right here. Next matchup.
By the way, Willow and Ishii, by winning that match, they were allowed to choose the stipulation in the singles match now between Willow and Stat. That's going to be happening at All Out, and I don't know what the stip is, so we're going to have to find out from somebody else or something. I don't know.
Fair enough.
The third match on the pre-show though was the Von Erichs, which was Marshall and Ross, who were teaming with Sammy Guevara, Shibata, and Dustin Rhodes, defeating the Undisputed Kingdom, which was Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, who were teaming with Cage of Agony, which is the Gates of Agony, Bishop Conanto Leona, and Brian Cage.
Okay.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
and apparently also, oh wait, no, yeah, no, that's just it. So I just have to point out, like, don't get me wrong, I'm not the biggest Matt Taven fan, but if you just look at these teams, Matt Taven is far and away the weak link on his team. But other than him, Mike Bennett, whatever, not amazing, not horrible. Bishop, Khan, Toa Leona, and Brian Cage are on that team. And then on the other team, you've got Shibata, who's fantastic, and four shitters. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to disrespect the Von Erich family, but Marshall and Ross are not Kevin and Kerry. Let's be real. And then you got
Damn.
Sammy fucking Guevara and Dustin old ass Gold Dust Rhodes. And that's the team that won? Jesus Christ.
Ass.
Yeah. Then there was a four-way London ladder match for the AEW Trios Championship.
Okay.
The team that won was Pac with the Blackpool Combat Club. So I guess no more Death Triangle because it was Pac, Claudio, and Wheeler.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And they beat the three teams of the Patriarchy, so Christian, Killswitch, and Nick Wayne. The Bang Bang Gang, which apparently Juice is back because he was in this match and he teamed up with the Ass Boys. And House of fucking Black. House of Black were in this and they didn't
Yeah.
win. Jesus Christ. Mariah May defeated Tony Storm in probably the second best match on the entire show, but don't tell Dave.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
The last chance match for the FTW Championship match, Hook defeated Chris Jericho, won the FTW title back. Had Hook lost, he would have never been able to challenge for the title again for as long as Jericho was champion.
That might have been the better result. Dude, I feel so bad for Hook, man. I feel like they did that dude so dirty. He should
Caught
be
up
so
in the
far above this
Jericho
title right now.
vortex, man.
Fuck. Next.
The Young Bucks retained the AEW tag titles against FTR and the Acclaimed.
Nicholas and Matthew, is it still getting heat? Does the crowd still care? Because maybe
I
that's
don't know.
redeemable.
I don't really watch their segments.
That's, yeah, mood. Next.
So this to me was the most egregious one because listen to this. So we actually just watched a Pro Wrestling Bits video that kind of talked about this already, and it's truly ridiculous to me. Orange Cassidy came out first, right?
Yeah.
Then Kazuchika Okada was the second entrance for this. This was the Casino Gauntlet match, by the way, since I didn't say that yet. Third entrant, we're in London. Nigel fucking McGuinness. His
Yeah.
first match in almost 13 years.
Yeah. I heard about this, dude. Believe me, I heard about all this.
And he looked amazing. He looked so good, dude. He looked
Yeah.
fantastic. Oh
I'm
my
happy
God.
for him, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be way happier for him if he actually won the damn thing, considering he has been trolling Brian Danielson for, at this point, it feels like years on commentary, trying to basically build up heat for a match with Danielson. It would have made the most possible sense for him to win this and get that match.
Yeah.
Then Kyle O'Reilly came out. Then you get fucking Zack Sabre Jr. fresh off of winning the G1. Jesus Christ, what a surprise. And also another hometown guy. Again, we're in London.
Yeah.
Roderick Strong comes out. Mark Briscoe comes out. Hangman Adam Page comes out. Then fucking Jeff Jarrett. Jesus Christ. And then, oh, look, it's a debut. It's Ricochet. Ricochet comes out. I feel like the crowd barely even reacted to him relative to like Nigel and Zach. But
Yeah.
okay, Ricochet's here now. He does some cool shit. I'm not going to deny it. Ricochet had a cool sequence. Then Christian Cage comes out. And I think after Christian Cage came out, I was kind of under the impression that that was it for entrance. But then Killswitch also came out at the very end. And Killswitch made it seem like he was going to try and win. But then instead, he just helped Christian win. So Christian wins the Casino Gauntlet match.
And I like Christian, but am I the only one that feels like the act is played out and like we just need to move on to something else for
Dude,
Christian for a
this
little
is
bit?
my entire problem. This is like, remember how for the longest time we had this problem where WWE would find something cool and just run it into the fucking ground to the point that it got lame and everyone hated it and wanted it to go away?
Yes.
Tony Khan has discovered the art of doing exactly that and has done it with Christian Cage.
Yeah, and that's a shame because Christian Cage is versatile enough to do something else and to do it well. So it's not like this is all Christian has, you know? He's not like a Pete Dunne in that way,
Yeah,
you know? He's furthest fucking thing from.
right.
And so, yeah, and plus, dude, I've even been hearing people saying that I think our committed AEW fans when is Kill Switch gonna finally put this fucking dude in his place? He teased it again and he didn't do anything. How long has this been going on? Like Christ.
So then Osprey MJF happened. I have no comments because I literally didn't watch it because I had no interest in watching it. Mercedes Britt happened, same thing. Perry Darby Allen happened, same thing. As far as winners go, Osprey beat MJF for the American Championship, which I don't know if Will's going to rename it or if it's
He
going to
did.
revert back.
He
So
did.
what
He
is it
apparently
now?
reverted back to the international title.
There
Like he
you
reverted
go.
back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mercedes retained against Britt. Perry retained against Darby. And then we get to our main event, Swerve Danielson, which we know is title versus career. And obviously, we've been talking about Danielson being the champion already. So it's not really worth trying to hide the fact that Danielson did win this match. But I will say it was a fantastic match. This was probably AEW's only match of the year candidate that I've seen so far this year. And man, these guys were both great. Danielson had a fire up spot that was fantastic.
I did see
I
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were. It's one of those things where like Bryan Danielson is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and when you put him in there with someone who's talented, it's real easy for them to work magic.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I guess the results were fine, but like the pay-per-views still go too fucking long. Um, I think Christian winning was probably the most egregious booking decision to me, just on its face. Like I do not understand why
Dude,
he won this.
I know, right? Because I know why he won it. It's because Bryan Danielson has a dead dad, and they're going to do that whole angle.
Oh great, another dead father story.
I
You
know
know?
it's just boring and old and overplayed, but like I can't understand how you have Nigel fucking McGuinness returning on this show, and not only do you not have him win this match, like I don't even know what's more egregious: the fact that he came out third and was like not made a big deal out of, or the fact that he didn't win the damn thing. Like, to me, if you have Nigel fucking McGuinness, like, I feel like Tony Khan is really not fully appreciating how big of a fucking deal this is. Nigel McGuinness is like royalty, bro. And like,
Yeah.
not only is it like, oh wow, he's royalty, but like, he's not like that like old saggy royalty like Ric Flair, where he shows up and you're hoping he doesn't fucking explode into dust the first time he gets hit. He looks incredible and he can still fucking go. He looks fantastic and he still works really fucking well. 13 years removed from his last match. So, like, to me, I feel like I don't give a fuck if you want to do the Christian program. That's fine. You can do the Christian program. It didn't have to come first. It didn't have to be Danielson's first defense. It didn't have to be in Chicago. It's not even going to be in Chicago. That's going to be fucking Jack Perry, which is even dumber because now the crowd's going to be chanting CM Punk during that match. That's ridiculous. Regardless, there is no reason at all why you couldn't have had Ricochet be the first entrant in this match so that he could have gotten the biggest pop because, oh my God, we're starting off with a literal bang. Ricochet, this is insane. Ricochet's here. We're shaking things up right away. And Nigel McGuinness couldn't have been the last entrant in this match because it already, like, there were 11 guys. You get through 10 and it feels like it's already over. You're running out of entrants. And then there's another countdown and it's Nigel fucking McGuinness. Are you kidding me? And then not only does it make sense for him to be last just from like a pure surprise, like uh, literally just putting on a crazy display, like cinematic standpoint. But even from like a kayfabe protecting the younger guy standpoint, you have the older guy go out there last. He has to wrestle the least. He can win, and you're protecting everyone because he can win, and he has the excuse of like, oh yeah, well I had to do the least amount of work to win because I was in last. It's like, how the fuck do you fuck this up, Tony? Jesus Christ! And then you have him lose to Danielson. Obviously, he's not going to win the title. And then Danielson can move on to a Christian feud, and you can get what you wanted to do anyway. But you set it up correctly this time.
Womp womp womp.
I'm so annoyed that they did this, dude. I can't believe it. And like, the thing is, they're probably still going to do a Nigel Danielson match while Danielson has the title anyway. So it's like you literally just did the exact same. You just got there in a way worse way. You got there in a way that nobody was excited about. Like nobody was like, "Oh wow, hooray, Christian won the fucking casino gauntlet." Like nobody popped for that. And you're not getting him any more heat by having him win the match anyway. It's like you're not accomplishing anything by doing this, but you could have accomplished a hell of a lot by having Nigel win the thing. And the excitement you would have gotten in that arena, oh my god! I almost have to wonder if they avoided doing it on purpose because the literal next match was Will Ospreay beating MJF for the AEW International title.
So you don't want to spoil a crowd when you're in their arena
Dude,
once
that's what
a
I'm
year?
saying. Like that's the only thing I can think of is like they wanted to get the one little pop in there for him just showing up, but they didn't want to explode the place because they didn't want to blow the biggest pop on someone other than their chosen man, their chosen boy, their golden boy, Osprey.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Well, that just put me in a bad mood and really just sucked my energy out, which is why I hate talking about this fucking company for more than like 5 minutes. So let's get back to questions. Uh, Super Blue again. Who do you think the mystery person Parker and Roxanne saw? I think it was Julia. I think post match we're gonna see Julia come out at No Mercy, which is another
Yeah,
reason why I'm excited for this match. Is the post match. I
I
think
think
Julia.
at first I thought there was no way it would be Julia. It would probably be Vaquer, but yeah, you're probably right. It's probably Julia.
Well, because like I told you, my whole argument was they already practically did like a press release of sorts for Stephanie Vaquer. And with Julia, they've kept her much more hush hush since like her crowd spot, that one takeover.
Yeah,
I think it was Julia for sure. It's like a reintroduction of sorts. So let's see, gotta find it. Okay, Caster. Well, I think that was more of a general question. You agree to dislike Mox? I still like Mox to a point, but like I don't know, the bloom's kind of off the rose at the same time. So maybe I
John
did.
Moxley is unironically the most decorated man in the history of AEW ever.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying he does not need another world title run. He doesn't need to be the guy that to retire Brian Danielson. He just doesn't need it. Let him sit in the back. Let him do his thing. He's already kind of in the middle of something kind of cool. He's doing this whole like whatever the fuck is going. Like people are there's like rumors that it's going to be like a GCW invasion maybe, or like a blood sport specifically, like a blood sport invasion because it's like him at first, and then like Marina Shafir gets involved, and Marina Shafir is kind of like like has like the MMA experience and has like the blood sport experience. It's like, okay, maybe that's where this is headed. I'm gonna see where that goes. It could be interesting. We don't let him do something interesting that he wants to do. We don't need him to always be involved in championships all the time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree completely. Um, Super Blue. If Cole comes back this year, should he disband? You said
Just
Undisturbed Kingdom.
the undisturbed kingdom.
Man,
Unironically, though,
the
that name fits them better than what it actually is.
Undisputed Kingdom, but +5 for creativity there, typo.
They're less
Um,
disturbed than they are disputed. Or
yes.
other way around, they're less disputed than they are disturbed, I think.
It's whatever at this point. Dude, as somebody that used to fucking adore Adam Cole, that breaks my heart too. And that's again why I don't like
Well,
talking about this company
yeah,
for more
his
than so
body
long.
has not been doing him any favors lately. Plus, there's the whole breakup thing going on with him and Britain. It's just not a good year for him.
I I thought buying stock in Adam Cole, it was gonna fucking soar. I was gonna be rich, in a
Now's
metaphorical
the
sense, of
time to
course.
buy. Right now is the time to buy because he is at an all-time low. You buy low, and then eventually, when he works his way back up to the top, that'll be when it's time to sell.
Yes. Yes. I hope he can make that climb. I really do. I still believe in Adam Cole. Maybe I'm one of the few people left that does, but god damn it. I mean, again, I saw that dude as a very young man competing in my indie fed in my old home of Jersey.
Yep.
And
He was
he
in
had
his young 20s at that point.
young fucking 20s, and he had charisma even then.
Yep.
Like he knew how to interact with the crowd. He was solid in the ring. This dude's a star. I'm not giving up on him. And if I sound forewarned and whatever, it's not about Cole. It's about everything that's been done to him and happened to him. Um, I feel for the man. I really fucking do. No cap, no gimmicks, no anything else. My heart breaks for the man. So should he disband it? Probably. I think they want to do some kind of a clean reset with him anyway. Probably. Is Wardlow even still with the company? I heard that he might leave. Like, what's going on there
Dude,
anyway?
I've heard that he might leave too, but I haven't actually seen him in, I feel like, months at this point. Let me look up and see when his last match was. Let's see here. It was in March. His last match was in March, and it was oh oh my god. Do you remember that amazing promo that he cut where he talked about how he beat the he beat MJF so bad that he had to take time off, and then he beat CM Punk so bad that he's still feeling it now in the other company, and how
Yeah,
like he's beaten all these he's beaten Samoa Joe before and stuff, and like he's tired of basically being told to just sit back and wait, and he's taking what he wants now, and it led to him getting a title shot at the world title. It was Samoa Joe at the time. He lost to Samoa Joe and literally hasn't been seen since.
damn.
That was in March 13th, on the Big Business episode of Dynamite where Mercedes debuted. Yeah, Wardlow challenged Samoa Joe for the world title on that show. Hasn't been seen since. I don't know if he's injured or not.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy. So yeah, I think just disband it. I didn't even really like it when it was introduced. Just get rid of it and start over. Especially now with MJF as a heel, you can't go back to the Cole MJF feud unless Cole magically is babyface again for reasons that I wouldn't fucking understand. So yeah. Um, Next question. Cash or sales? Do you think Roman will show up next week to screw the bloodline? What's the bloodline doing next week? Do you have any context for this?
No clue.
No clue. I'm just gonna say yes. I'm just gonna, whatever it is. I'm just gonna say yes. Um, And yeah, that's questions. So I'm gonna make an executive decision here, and I'm gonna close the gate now because we had that really long card question that ate up
Ugh,
so much fucking
yeah,
time. So we're done. We're done. I'm closing the gate. Sorry, guys. Next week I'll probably be more liberal, but that was a really long, in-depth question. That's why I normally like them to be more like concise for in review. But let's get to high spots, low shots. My low shot is me for having to hear fucking AEW. Fuck that company. But my low shot actually, you know what? My low shot actually is gonna be New Day because neither one of them fucking qualified for that Intercontinental title tournament. So Kofi and Woods, especially
yeah.
Woods, because that dude still hasn't won a singles fucking championship. Oh, Kirby said no, but I have a question. Kirby, because your existence makes me pop and I love you so much, you are the only one allowed to ask a question. So ask a question. But I am just going to say New Day. Ashton, you can get your low shot, and then we'll answer Kirby's question very quickly in the interim, and then we'll get to high spots. So who's your low shot?
Javon Evans.
Ooh, ooh, that's so accurate, but so oof.
It hurts.
Kirby, why are you guys so awesome? Kirby, if you don't come the fuck over here right now and get this hug, son, I swear to God. I love you. Your existence makes me pop for all time. And you know what? Not to get into the details, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm very happy for you in the world of wrestling. That also makes me pop. So big hugs, brother.
Yeah.
High spot. You know what, Ashton? You're my high spot because you suffered through this with me. So you're
Oh,
my honorary high spot. My actual high spot, bro. You know what though? Just because we reacted to it, I'm gonna say actually Rhea. I was gonna say
nice.
Gunther, but I'm gonna say Rhea because she pinned the champion in the tag match. Dom could have gotten pinned and it really wouldn't have meant much. Rhea pinning Liv, she is 100% getting another crack at Liv. So she had a great flight to Germany and a great time in Germany. So yeah, I'm just gonna say Rhea Ripley specifically, but I will say Terror Twins altogether because they did win, but emphasis on Rhea for pinning the women's champion. Who was your high spot?
This is easy because we had more praiseful and positive words for this person than anyone else this week. Jada Parker is my high spot.
Dude, you slam dunked it, brother, and you broke the fucking basket. That beautiful. Actually, hoop. Hoop. I want to say you broke the fucking hoop. That was perfect.
I broke
Perfect.
the backboard
There you go.
like
Um,
Michael Jordan.
yes. Please. Jordan wishes he had your face. And yeah, I know the shit I'm talking right now. I stand by it. What's anybody gonna do about it? Nothing. Because I'd fight Jacob Fatu, bitch. Anyway, God, I am really asking for it. I want everybody to know that I am self aware, that I am very close to an existential bankruptcy because my mouth can't keep writing these checks, baby. But anyway, for now, this has been In Review. This has been TwitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my core and commentary Ashton. Guys, like the videos you file out, please subscribe, click the bell icon so you don't miss any of that TwitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the IWC. And we will see you tomorrow. We're going to be watching the show at 7. We may not go live exactly at 7 because we're only doing 3 matches, right, Ashton? It's the 2 women's matches and then what? Because it's
Oba?
yes, of course it's Oba. He's doing such a forgettable thing. I like Tony, but it's not like the most pressing feud, so it kind of slips my mind. So yes, the 2 women's matches, and Oba. So Jada Roxanne, Kalani Wendy Chu, and
Yeah.
Oba and Tony. One of those matches may not even open the show, so we may not go live exactly at 7, but those are select match reactions, so it's going to be uploaded in chunks. So just be on standby. You guys know how it goes because most people that watch us, you've watched us long enough to know standard procedure, right? So there you go. Yeah. And so we'll see you then. And that's the weekend. So we'll be back Tuesday at 5 for 5 Fave 5. I do want to say though to get ahead of it so that I remember the next Tuesday after. So that would be what?
Third,
September 10th. Well, September 3rd I was plugging 5A5. I was saying the Tuesday after, which
10th,
being September 10th, will be Super Blues Patreon request of
WrestleMania
WrestleMania 9.
9.
Yes, and that will also be at 5. So just because Super Blue had the most recent message in chat, I got
Isn't
my gears turning.
WrestleMania 9 like infamously bad?
Yes, it is. So we'll be sure to give reactions to that. Thank you, Super
What
Blue, as
the
always, for your
fuck,
patronage
Super
and your
Blue? Do
support.
you hate us?
He might. I have thought about it, but I'm going to assume that you love us, Super Blue, and that you only do this because maybe I just need to stop antagonizing LA Knight. Maybe every time I antagonize LA Knight, Super Blue is just like, well, that's another one.
Maybe LA
Yeah.
Knight needs to suck less.
Wow, you actually doubled down when I wanted to stop our suffering. You know
Maybe
what?
then
Respect.
we'll stop antagonizing him because he won't suck so much.
I mean, goddamn. I mean, speak on that truth, King. Fuck. In fact, I'm sending this to you on Facebook. As far as I'm concerned, you fucking drop this. Bam. And
Oh, it's a
yeah,
crown. Thank you.
yeah, there you go. So yeah, guys, you can so again, just to be clear, because I know if anybody follows us on Discord, which you all should, uh
Pop for Kirby Freeman.
Kirby, I want to do a faction with you so bad. You don't even know. You, me, Ashton, Foster, and like Abel. And like,
Yes.
please God. Please God. So yeah, just to make it clear, because if you follow us on Discord, which you should, that's $3 a month. You can check it out on Patreon, description below. We have been having discussions in the Patreon channel. Originally, Super Blues was supposed to be this coming Tuesday. Ashton, remember we had a Fave 5. That's why I'm really stressing. Fave 5 is this upcoming Tuesday at 5 because we've been meaning to do it. We've been behind on it anyway. And then Tuesday after, September 10th, that will be Super Blues Patreon request for WrestleMania 9 for
Yes.
anybody that was looking forward to it because I don't even say that jokingly. People might have been like, oh, cool, get to relive memories or whatever with TWitWoW. That's coming September 10th. So thank you guys. And also, isn't September going to be our next Q&A? September's going to kind of pop off,
Oh,
isn't it?
shit. Yeah. September 26th.
Yeah, September is going to be a busy month for TWitWoW. So yeah,
Fuck.
yeah, dude, I know. I'm so old and so tired. But hey, we're still doing it better than
Whoa.
anybody. And that's a fact. So you
Wait,
guys
was that
enjoy
a
your
Ric
week.
Flair impression?
It was, but I did
That
it
was
better
really
than he did.
good.
Yeah, see? Fuck you, Richard. Um,
Yeah.
And unlike you, I could still fly on airplanes and make everybody feel safe about it. Fuck you twice. So
Fuck you, dick.
I know you can't hear me because of Chris, but I just squeaked so loud into the microphone. Anyway, yeah, I am turning up somewhat, and that's because it's late and we're still here, and I don't know why. I literally restarted our hour 30-minute counter, bro. We're at 57 minutes remaining on the restart. Jesus
Yeah, we've gone just barely over 2 hours.
Christ, getting schmerz. All right,
Let's just go
let's
home. We're good.
Yeah, let's go home. I recapped everything. Yeah, we're good. So, guys, have a great weekend. Be good to yourselves and each other. Can't feel right without saying that to y'all. Tune in